welcome to the Metalheads podcast. My name is George.
And Buke.
This is Jay.
And we come to you this evening for a special nighttime episode. Normally we record around 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, but due to some scheduling snafus, we had to sort of split things up today. So earlier today, Buke and I did an interview with three of the guys from the band A Flourishing Scourge. We're going to get into that in a moment.
Yeah, the scheduling snafus were all mine, so many thanks to you both for being willing to go to evening time here. That's very cool, because I couldn't listen to the pod if my voice wasn't on it.
Neither could we. Well, Buke maybe.
Buke could, yeah.
So here we are. It's the night after Halloween, the day after the daylight savings time, making this night even later than it was yesterday.
Is there anything better than falling back?
No, I don't think so. It was great this morning, but tonight it's kind of hurting.
Extra hour rules, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so you took advantage of it last night.
Yeah. I was up pretty late last night, and then I slept in this morning, but now the body's going, hey, it's kind of late. And then the clock's saying it's not as late as you think it is. So
there's your trouble.
All right, well, why don't we just go ahead and jump right into the interview with A Flourishing Scourge, and then we'll just move on from there. So here you go. This is our interview with Ty, Andrew, and Kevin of A Flourishing Scourge.
This week's feature band. This week's feature band. This week's feature band. Listen to this band.
Hello, and welcome to the Metalheads podcast. My name is George.
This is Buke.
And we are here today with several of the guys from A Flourishing Scourge. Would you guys like to, introduce yourselves and say what you do?
Yeah, this is Ty. I'm the main vocalist, and I also play guitar.
This is Kevin. I'm on bass. This is Andrew on guitars.
Excellent.
Gentlemen, let me first start off by saying it is an honor to have our first grunge band from Seattle join the podcast.
Bringing it back.
We're bringing it back.
We're taking it back. Could you start us off with a little introduction, basically who you are, where you're from, how did you guys get together, and how long have you been together?
Yeah, so it kind of started as a garage project between me and Josh. Josh is the one that couldn't be here today. And it grew from there. It started off just writing songs, mapping out drums, tinkering, recording, figuring out like who would sing, what the voice would be, what the song structures would be. And it kind of became more official when Kevin joined us. That was probably 2014, about a year ago now, actually. That's when we picked a name. We started to create a web presence and put songs online and start looking for other members and things like that. And then we finally found Andrew earlier this year, probably this spring time frame. And that's when we were able to actually go out and perform the songs in front of people. So we've really only been playing shows for just under 6 months, I'd say.
So you guys are pretty fresh.
Yeah, it's all very fresh. We just finished recording the first EP, which is our oldest batch of songs from probably from 2013, and we've been writing more material since then. So we've got a whole slew of new songs that we've been performing live, and we're getting ready to record in the near future.
And that EP is called As Beauty Fades Away, which I believe was released in September?
Yeah, that was early September.
Is there any stories with the EP that you'd like to tell us about, or, just talk about it a little bit?
Sure. We produced it all in-house, actually. I've been building up slowly over the years some recording gear and stuff like that, so I'm into the production and all that sort of stuff. So we were able to rig up everything here and record it in our studio space, our practice space, and so that was an interesting experience. It's the first time I've actually sat down and tried to record an album start to finish, and we did have a timeline. We had kind of made some obligations around it. We had set up a couple of shows to support it, so we had to kind of work under an amount of pressure like a studio environment would be, and so yeah, it was interesting to put all that together ourselves. Definitely a lot goes into putting an album to disc. That's when you really have to make decisions about the song. What you're gonna eventually cut or keep or add or subtract, whatever it may be. That's when it really matters the most. You can make demos and play it live all you want, but once you commit it to disc, it's live for the world, and it's hard to change it at that point. So
Yep.
So that part's also kind of interesting.
Ty, I want to give a nod to all you guys, and, you especially for setting it up and recording it on your own. Like we've mentioned on this podcast before, George and I and our guys who do join us, we live on sites like Bandcamp. We're checking out albums daily, tens to hundreds a week. It's rare that we listen to something and within seconds of listening it, you're like, man, first off, this is recorded well.
Really?
Because it's still rare. And I say that also because it blows George and I away that you guys are doing this on your own in your own little studio, producing the sound that you guys have. For the people who haven't heard you guys, what you released as Beauty Fades Away is a 4-song EP. Was the decision all along just to get these 4 songs out, even though you said it's the oldest stuff, just to start to put your guys' name out there?
Yeah, that was kind of the eventual decision. We have 2 batches of songs that were written kind of close together. So that was the first batch of songs. That was from when this was the original little project in the garage, just writing and tinkering. And so they kind of represented a period of time in my mind for the band and the sound that we were creating at that time. A year later, we started writing the next batch of songs. This was around the time Kevin joined, and we had, we were in more of a practice cycle and things like that. And that batch of songs also was kind of cohesive together, and also I thought had kind of graduated in sound and structure from the original song. So I wanted to kind of slice those off in time, do our best version of those, and then put them out there.
The one thing that, as people who listen to this podcast know, I am a big Opeth fan. I'm not saying that to lump you guys into being an Opeth clone, but when you have tracks that are like 8 minutes long, 7.5 minutes long, was it hard to say, man, I don't know if these really fit on the EP?
I like the fact that it's a 4-song EP, but it's over half an hour worth of music. It's hard for me to write short, simple, structured songs. I like to let the music flow. We like to kind of just see where the song likes to go. And in fact, it's hard for me to cut them off at 8 minutes even, but I like to keep them. I have a certain song length that I like, kind of a sweet spot, and too much more or less sometimes is, songs can get too long or be too short, cut off early, and so I don't know. I just kind of, we end them where they feel right. But
Kevin and Andrew, I'll ask you guys this: when you guys start to write songs like this, with the longer song structure, who starts it off, I should say, or do you guys all have something in your head together that you guys kind of meet at once and as a starting off point?
Yeah, do you just jam and it evolves from that, or does somebody come to the group and say, hey, I have this, let's flesh this out?
That is actually a very timely question because as Ty mentioned, as we came in, so we cut off the first 30 minutes for the EP, and we have about 30 minutes of new songs. And our goal is to write 2 or 3 new songs, fill that out, and go in and do a full length release probably next summer. So, but for the first time, this is the first time we have all of us together, and where Andrew and I will both be part of the actual writing process. So for the first time yesterday, we literally sat down and were like, okay, how are we going to approach this? So we're still trying to figure that out. So right now we're doing a little hybrid of people bringing in riffs and song ideas and jamming out a little bit and trying just to kind of see where it goes.
Now, obviously, apparently things are still going well for the first time because you guys are all sitting next to one another still.
Yes.
No disagreements yet.
Exactly. No disagreements yet. No one's holding a knife to someone's throat saying, this will be in this song.
That's why we don't have a camera at this end.
We can't see the hands around each other's throats.
But guys, when you since George and I aren't in a band, we just do the little podcast here. Do you guys ever have that something in your head that's kind of like your metaphorical hill you'll die on? That you're like, damn it, Ty, you're not taking this out of the fucking song.
Well, fortunately, we've never really had to get to a point where it seems like the ideas are so fresh right now, and everybody's still so open to everybody else's contribution that we've fortunately never really gotten into a point where we're going to have to die on that hill.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's been a couple times when people have said, hey, I really like this part, let's make sure we keep that in. And it's always important to kind of pick out the parts that you want to keep in, but we've never really had any disagreement, fortunately.
Yeah.
So, but usually if that does happen, I'm just going to kick their ass and go with my part.
We have trimmed some fat. I mean, we've had songs and riffs and stuff that we just left out because they just weren't quite fitting what we were trying to do. We just knew that they weren't right. But yeah, I mean, that's never been. We've been able to put feelings aside there, and just when something wasn't right, we shelved it.
Mm-hmm. When you go to do the full album, is that going to be all new material, or are you going to incorporate the EP with extra material?
No, that's going to be all new material.
Yeah, excellent.
And we're like Kevin said, we're about half an hour into that material. We're shooting for another 15 or 20 minutes worth, and we've got skeletons of songs for all that going already. So yeah, we're shooting for hopefully we're thinking like spring time frame.
Excellent.
Who does the lyrics for the band?
Josh wrote, actually. That's part of what the original when we started this thing, he approached me and he had a whole bunch of like kind of almost poems written, and so we were going to base the lyrics off of those. And as we figured out who was going to be doing the vocals, as we started out, I just played guitar and drums, and I didn't, neither of us really sang. So I started to develop my vocal style, and as the songs took form, I would take his kind of poems and apply them as lyrics, chop them up into phrases and make them fit the pace of the song and whatnot. So that's how the lyrics started. At this point, everyone's contributed a little bit lyrically, which is cool that we can all kind of pitch in. We have enough of a common vision, it seems, that we can all contribute lyrics, and they all kind of fit the general direction of what they're saying. So I'm writing lyrics at this point. Everyone's kind of just, when they're feeling lyrics or they're having an idea for something, they are pitching in.
Your practice space, is that like in somebody's house, or do you have like a dedicated, practice place where, where bands go to, practice and record and such?
Yeah. Fortunately and otherwise, that's in my basement, is basically converted to our practice space. So,
okay.
Which is awesome to be able to have that, because we can stay up late nights, writing, practicing, being creative, doing whatever we want to do. So it's great to have it. It kind of butts up to our studio room where we have the recording gear and stuff. So we're able to have kind of a live space out there, and then a recording space in the back where we can have some separation even. So it works out beautifully. It's nice to have it.
Cool. The reason I asked was because our third mic, Jay, he's also in a band. They're called Catatonic Society out of the Berkeley, San Francisco area. And they have like a practice space, and there's a bunch of other bands that use the same area. And it's just kind of interesting, I think, to Buke and I, that there's sort of this camaraderie on the scene where these people are all sort of playing together. And this was going to lead to my question of, how's the metal scene in Seattle? And is there one?
Because us here in the East Coast, growing up my whole life, you don't associate Seattle area at all with metal.
Well, I do. I'm older. I
you're
predate
older.
that. I remember like Sanctuary and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. So speaking of the current metal scene in Seattle, it exists there. I mean, there is one. We have had a hard time finding people that are doing exactly what we're trying to do. So, while it exists, it's been hard for us it's not very conducive for us at the moment. So we're reaching out. We're still trying to find, the bands that are trying to do what we're doing. But it's kind of it's a much more American sounding, metal scene here. A lot of the core metalcore type stuff, and it's just like we've played with a lot of good bands, and what they do, they're good at. But it's been kind of awkward bills that we've had to put together. It's a lot of like doom and sludge metal and stuff like that, which we all dig. Like we love that, but it's not exactly it contrasts with ours. Interestingly,
I'd like to see more shows like that personally. When you go to we were talking about this on a previous episode, when you go to a show and it's all death metal or it's all black metal or it's all doom metal, you kind of, especially if there's like 5 to 7 bands on the bill, you're kind of burned out at the end of the show. Having something that mixes it up would actually be kind of nice, but apparently that doesn't happen a lot in the US. That's more of a European thing.
Yeah. It's been a side effect of the fact that we can't actually find any bands that are sounding just like what we're doing. So it's interesting though. You're right. It does add some diversity to the bill. Especially for local shows. Not necessarily everyone is there to hear one particular band or style or sound. So, you've got a pretty diverse audience a lot of the times anyway. So why not give them some diverse music?
Exactly.
Are you guys, it's no secret that, no one's going to be getting a private jet off of playing metal nowadays.
Oh, what?
Starting up.
Uh-oh. We just killed their dreams.
Bubble burst.
That's it. We're bursting bubbles on this podcast every week. Are you guys at a point in your life where, you can get a little exposure from the internet and you can maybe start to play maybe a West Coast tour, maybe Midwest?
Yeah, we're giving some thought to that. Basically, with the EP release, we consider that just kind of like a quote unquote real band's album cycle. And we've just kind of done, just local gigs, kind of up and down Washington here for the last few months, kind of as like a touring cycle in support of that. So I think the idea now is to shut down for a little bit, write these songs, get in the studio, push out the album, and then we're starting to thinking about doing some West Coast stuff. Hopefully, maybe as soon as the summer or next fall. Again, one of these things, when you're meeting all these bands, is it's really interesting how big your kind of little network web and how fast that starts to spread. And so we've got friends in Portland, Oregon, guys we've played with from San Francisco. Apparently, you guys know someone in San Francisco, so let's see where this is going. Yep. But Vancouver.
And our podcast is heard in over 100 countries around the world. So, hey, if guys from like Sweden are calling you to play shows,
if you're looking to play down in San Francisco, let us know. Maybe Jay's always looking to hook people up to play with down there.
Yeah, and then that is exactly how the system works these days. It's really word of mouth, who you know, who can get you on a bill in some certain town and stuff like that. As you guys know, as you guys are carrying the metal flag forward here on your podcast, which we appreciate, but it's it's still very much in kind of an underground thing, which is why we love it, right? So, but we definitely, I think, if anything, we're a little bit frustrated at the lack of kind of solidarity among the metal bands in Seattle. It seems like on the East Coast, it seems like guys really tend to kind of band together, no pun intended, and kind of work through the system a little bit. And definitely you see that in Europe and places like that. But in West Coast, it's just kind of a really weird scene.
Do you think that's... I'm sorry, go ahead, George.
I was just going to say, Jay related a story to us that he may or may not disclose on the podcast later about a show that he had a night or two ago where there was just not bands just not getting along on a big bill. And so that sort of just reminded me of that when you said
George,
that.
Yeah, Jay was... Jay was talking about one of those bills where you play with like 10 other bands, which seems to be common, he was saying now, for how they're booking shows.
And basically bands weren't being very courteous to each other.
Yeah, I don't feel like we've had that any direct discourtesy. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah, but it hasn't felt very not a good camaraderie.
Well, if you haven't had it yet, okay, well, you asshole piece of shit, here you go.
Yeah, here's your chance to blast somebody. No, we don't recommend that. But I was curious. I was actually just out in Seattle a couple of months ago. Where's a good place to see a metal show in Seattle?
There's a few good ones. Studio 7 gets a lot of national acts. They get basically everything there, as well as a lot of good local metal shows. El Corazon is the same. They get a lot of the.
I saw that place.
Touring. Yeah, so it depends on what you're looking for. Like if you want to see a national act or whatever, those are the places to go. Also, the Highline is a good one for local. They do a lot more like better known local type of a lot of black metal and stuff like that. What else we got around here? The Pneumos is good. That's kind of a mix. They got rock, metal, hard rock, everything there. There's some smaller ones. The Kraken, the Mix. It depends on how local you want to go and how gritty. There's some like converted house to venue type of place venues where it's just basically a big house party show, and so there's lots of good little places, and there's kind of a good underground black metal thing going here. Mm-hmm. Some of that kind of like, I don't know, lo-fi black metal resurgent stuff, a lot of cassette tapes and leather jackets and stuff, which is cool. Like, so there is that scene, which also like we don't quite fit into with what we're doing, but I mean that does exist here, and that's cool.
Are you guys all homegrown, or did anybody come from somewhere else and end up in Seattle?
Ty, I'm from here primarily. I've kind of lived all around this area. I moved away for a few years, came back, but I would say that I'm homegrown, yeah. Well, Kevin?
I actually grew up in Texas, and then I lived out in Hawaii for about 10 years and moved here about a year and a half ago.
Is Dog the Bounty Hunter your hero?
He is.
He's all our hero, really.
Yeah,
okay, brah. Okay, brah.
And then Andrew came from...
Yeah, I'm originally from Florida and the East Coast. Lived in Virginia a little bit. And,
okay.
We're from Maryland.
Yeah, we're in Virginia.
Lived in Chesapeake and Fredericksburg area.
Okay, that's not far.
Yeah, so been out in Seattle for about 3.5, 4 years.
As a group, what brought you guys together? Was it, did you have a comment? Did you guys work together? Like a girlfriend, wife? Was it, just
how
seeing
did you
each
meet?
other at a show?
So, going back to the beginning, Josh and I were kind of acquaintances through a friend that I've had since I was, growing up. So I'd always kind of known him through friends, and when we both realized we wanted to do a similar music project is when we started hanging out and getting creative with music and stuff. Since then, it was hard to find the other right players. We did some auditions, like we posted on Craigslist and started meeting people that way, and eventually that's how we met Kevin and Andrew. I think was through Craigslist. There still seems to be no better other way.
That's the second band now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You didn't accidentally hook up with anybody while you were looking for band members.
No, but it honestly feels like a weird dating cycle as you're like auditioning people and like deciding whether or not to move forward, and when you have to make a cut or like or whatever to turn someone down, it feels like a weird breakup, and sometimes people get pissed and you try not to
I see a business opportunity here to create a website for heavy metal musicians to find each other so that they don't have to use Craigslist and dirty their hands.
And a bunch of websites try it. Like I looked into that because I was thinking somebody must have a better system by now, surely. And there's a bunch of like little sites that are trying to do it, but if nobody's like buying into any one of them,
right,
then there's nothing on there. So like they've got this nice idea of a site, and in theory that's great, but there's just a bunch of inactive stuff on there.
Yeah,
No.
you need like a something big like a record label or somebody like Metal Hammer to back it so everybody knows about it.
The de facto place to go.
Exactly.
Now, outside of the band, do you guys hang out, or is it really just a band thing? Because I've seen bands later on, decades into their career, it's clear that this is just a business for them.
Right. Right.
The friendship has kind of fallen by the wayside.
No, we do hang out. We just got back from a trip we all took to through California to the Opeth anniversary show.
You guys trying to make me jealous?
Yeah,
Make me jealous. Did they play Ghost Reveries start to finish?
Yeah, in its entirety. That was the first half of the show, which was flawless. It was great. And then the second half was interesting. Actually, it was they had all kinds of like technical issues throughout the second half, and just like things were going wrong, and it
Really?
felt like. Yeah, it felt like watching one of our shows. It was kind of relieving though, like to see, these gods of metal that have been doing this for 25 years are still human, and they still suffer some of the same bullshit that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice to see a human side actually to one of our long time influences.
Ty, do you mind when people call you guys or they say the Opeth sound is there? Do you mind that at all? Does it offend you at all? Because, people look at me and they're like, oh, there's Brock Lesnar again. And I'm like, please stop. Come on.
No, because I do it also for music. To me, Opethian represents just a contrast in extreme and melancholy. And it's just, at this point, it's not even to compare directly to the band. It's just to describe kind of a subgenre that I feel they spearheaded, that others have also fallen into. You can call a lot of bands Opethian just from mixing folkish guitars.
George and I were talking about getting vests done for Maryland Death Fest next year, and I was thinking of a back patch, and I wanted to get this Still Life back patch, and George's like, you can't do that now. Opeth is too mainstream now.
And, everybody has that. It's all about having the most obscure thing.
It is, yeah.
A Flourishing Scourge back patch.
There you go.
Yes.
Doesn't get much
A backhanded
more
compliment there.
Exactly.
Hey, so when you guys write music, do you say, do you sit down and go, let's write some progressive black and death metal? Or do you just write the music and what comes out, and then somebody else like us comes along and slaps a label on you?
It's more the second. It's just, I don't write very intentionally. Like it kind of just is a stream of thought. When one thing flows to the next. Sometimes things flow together to where they connect to song parts that I have written, and now it's that's how it kind of became the two-part structure that it did, and it just kind of we have kind of ideas of writing a very intentional, like a concept album or something. But we're considering what to do after this next batch of songs. Like, would we just keep writing the way we have been, or would we write something intentional where we have a theme rolling through it and we're trying to write music to match that, or like almost a challenge to ourselves to see what we could create. So yeah, that's all stuff we're talking about as a band. Like Kevin said, we're kind of reaching the first real point where we have that opportunity to write as a whole unit.
For the other guys, Kevin and Andrew, how is it, guys, playing these longer, what you guys play live? Because, sometimes I've seen these bands, with just Opeth, like, jamming out. And it's like, man, do they mind playing these songs for like 10 minutes just doing this? And if you mess up, does it stick with you? And you're like, oh, no, I'm messing up. And then the next 8 minutes, you're just thinking of that one mess up over and over again.
It does eat away at you a lot. But I'm the bass player, so I just play root notes, so it's cool. No, but I kind of grew up listening to prog. I like Rush and the real proggy middle stages and that type of stuff. And so I've always kind of been attracted to longer song structures. And I think Ty did a good job of articulating that, song kind of doesn't necessarily just have to have one theme. It makes it a lot more interesting to listen to, in my opinion. Maybe not so much for some other people.
You pray at the Church of Dream Theater?
I was an early Dream Theater fan, I have to admit. So I'm kind of older too, so I was fortunate enough to first start to enjoy metal like right when Master of Puppets hit. So I got to ride that whole thing through, and then Dream Theater came out when grunge hit, so everybody was trying to grasp onto something. So I do appreciate their musicianship. I think over the years their songs have been a little bit too deliberate, as probably the exact opposite of what we're talking about. But
Deliberate, that's a good word.
We talked about it on the podcast last week. Did you see Fate's Warning is playing Prog Power next year?
I did not see that, but that's awesome.
With John Arch, that is, on vocals,
Really?
Not just any old Fates Warning, but the
See, I know
original
what you're
lineup.
talking about. These young pups next to me are like, who the fuck's Faith Warning? That's all right. They keep me around to keep it real. So,
Nice.
but
Well-
no, I really enjoy playing the longer songs. It's very interesting. It's really nice to be able to kind of keep that thread as you're kind of going through this little journey, and that's how I kind of look at it. Is I really have little stories I tell myself in my head about little parts that how they kind of make me feel emotionally or whatever.
There's an interesting point I want to hit on quick. You said your diving in point was Master of Puppets. Were the guys next to you, was their jumping in point like Kill Switch Engage? Like,
What did you get started on in metal?
And Justice for All for me.
Good answer.
Yeah, I think we're all. I mean, Kevin's right. Like, I grew up. I was pretty young in the '80s, so I really started hitting music in the early '90s. But what I started listening to, and what I listened to growing up, was always my dad's records. So it was classic rock for the most part. Black Sabbath and Supertramp and that kind of stuff. So I got into some of the old, early heavy metal and prog rock stuff through that, and also all sorts of shit. My first exposure to like modern metal was, I think I bought Metallica's first album, Kill 'Em All, along with like a Nine Inch Nails album and something else, and those really stuck with me. And then I heard Ride the Lightning and Master Puppets, and where they went after this kind of more straight thrashy album, and I heard the song structures, and I heard just the movements in it, and it was more like somebody had composed a piece of classical music and just layered the right tones on top of it, and it was just a masterpiece to me. So Metallica was a huge writing influence for me growing up, but those first 4 albums.
Do you guys think that someone's jumping off point is Saint Anger?
Oh, God, I hope not. I mean, if they're jumping off a bridge, maybe.
Yeah, I'm waiting to do an interview where we ask this question, and somebody's like, "Well, I really first got into heavy music with Disturbed." At that point, I'm like, "Okay," and that's all the time we have for today.
The end of our.
Yes. Yeah. Skype is breaking up. I don't know what is
We'll call you back. No, really.
Oh man, yeah. God, I hope not. But yeah, and then once I heard Cannibal Corpse, that changed things for me also. To realize that people were taking it to that degree. So after that, as I could, I explored all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, being the old graybeard that I am, I had to really make a lot of changes over the years. I started off with the old 70s, early 80s metal, and then I was like, "Oh, what's this? Thrash? Okay." And then I had to go, "Oh, death metal. And what's that? That's okay." And then move on to black metal, and it's cool in a way to have seen all of this, but I know a lot of people that just sort of bailed out along the way because they just couldn't get into the next phase, so to speak. And it's cool, when people actually like more than one style.
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of an evolving genre. We were just talking about this the other day. It evolved into so many subgenres that you can't categorize anything as just metal anymore, because that doesn't mean anything. What kind of metal? And I don't know if to the untrained ear, if it all just sounds like metal still, like noise or whatever, but, as somebody that listens to metal now, there's so many subgenres. I don't necessarily like all metal anymore. It's not all quite the same thing.
Yeah, it was part of why I asked you that question earlier about, your thoughts going into writing a song and what sort of style, because I've talked to a lot of bands and I've asked that question a few times just because I'm sort of suspecting that, bands don't really think about style beyond, it's metal and it's just what's coming out of us. It's really more the fans and the media that tend to slap these labels on, and they just become more increasingly complicated labels. as people like reviewers like myself who are trying to explain to people what this sounds like, and they have to slap on 4 different tags to sort of ballpark it. And it's not really fair to the music. And at the same time, I know a lot of bands are like, people call us this, but, I don't really think of us as this. If I was to call us something, I'd say it was this, or I wouldn't even label it at all. And it's just kind of annoying.
It's hard to even self-categorize. Like, people ask us what we are, and like we have found the combination of tags that we think best describes it. But it really is just like throwing a bunch of attributes together, and like, yeah, we are progressive, blackened, death, metal. It's really, I don't know. Maybe it helps for the listeners so that they can kind of really hone in on what they want to hear without, sifting through all the other stuff. But
you also know what though, guys? All these different music players that people like the Spotify's or the Pandora or like the Last FM or whatever. What do people do? They type in like Opeth radio, and similar bands come up. So unfortunately, you almost kind of have to plug yourself into other bands, maybe even by choice.
But then when you go and place a label on yourself, some kid on his computer in bumfuck wherever is like, oh, no, you're not that. This band is that. You're nothing like them. And so somebody's going to give you shit.
And then you also get these guys who are like, nope, I'm hearing Orchid era with these guys, but I don't know. I'm not hearing Blackwater Park area.
See, I think...
Yeah. Which era Opeth are they?
I think all this... I was just going to say, I think all this splitting hairs and just making more and more subgenres makes it harder for metal fans in general to be diverse, because they sort of pick their subgenre that they like and they stick with it. And, like I said, because I've come from across so many eras of metal, I like everything. Other than like, I don't really care for most new metal and like gent. Not a big fan of gent, but if it's good, it's good. And I don't care what the label is. I only use labels in basically a lazy attempt to describe music. As a reviewer, I should be saying, well, the guitars sound like this and the vocals sound like this, instead of just taking the easy way out and going, oh, it's progressive black death metal.
Yeah. But I mean, like you say, it's kind of a necessary evil to be able to, at a high level, group music into buckets for people that can't appreciate all varieties of it.
All right, well, we're getting ready to play you a song from A Flourishing Scourge. The first song we're going to play for you is called Infected. You guys want to talk about this song at all before we play it?
Yeah, this was a riff that I had written a long time before it became this song, and it just kind of took form from there. This was one of the earlier songs we ever wrote. I think this was the third one we wrote. It's the opener of our EP, and I don't know. I guess that's all I've got for it.
I was speaking. It sold me on it, so I'm assuming it'll sell our listeners.
Yeah, lyrically themed. Well, I don't like to describe the lyrics. I like people to interpret the lyrics and take their own meaning from it. So I'll just let people.
What's it mean, man? What's it mean?
What's any of it mean?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here you go. This is Infected from A Flourishing Scourge from As Beauty Fades Away. Okay, that was the first part of our interview with A Flourishing Scourge, and that was their song Infected from their EP As Beauty Fades Away.
I'll be looking forward to hearing it. I mean, there's no point in holding up some kind of weird fantasy here that this is happening in real time. As the boys did the interview without me today, I haven't got to hear it, so I won't hear it till it posts, but I'm looking forward to it. Especially since I went and checked these guys out. So I knew their stuff. It's good stuff, too. I like it. Are they local? Which I guess you might have said in the interview.
They're from Seattle.
Okay, right on.
And be sure to stick around to the end of the episode where you will hear from the band a little more and hear another song. So as I mentioned, last night was Halloween. Did anybody else do anything for Halloween? I know Buke did.
I took my daughter out. Stephanie and I took our daughter out. She's 16 months now. So luckily I was blessed to be off of work. We took her out, dressed her up like a little strawberry. One of the greatest moments in my life was watching my little girl walk up to her first house, with her little pumpkin trick-or-treat bucket in her hand. She didn't understand really what was going on, but she walked up. But I'm fighting back tears because it's just.
I can't believe you didn't dress her up in something metal.
Did I see that? Yeah. Did I see that she maybe stopped and put some leaves in that bucket too? Looked like she might have. But she's a little girl, so we have to go. The cute things right now.
Sure.
I'll say this: she was freaking cute, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
How many houses?
She hit she's not like us when she was our age or when she gets older. She made what, babe? 4 or 5 houses? Yeah, maybe 6.
It's a good start.
But she's like, oh, look, candy. Let me chew on the wrapper. Oh, look, a car. Oh, look, a tree.
Those pictures kind of tell the tale. The pictures are great. She's definitely all over the place. You can tell it's more for you than it was for her.
Yeah, and she crashed hard when she got home. But I think George with the costumes outdid us both. Yeah. I don't know how many people who weren't metal understood it, though, George.
No, nobody did.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. Did you do anything, Jay?
Well, I'd had plans to dress up, if that's what you mean. No, Halloween. Yeah. No, we didn't. You know what? We watched Bride of Frankenstein and gave out candy. And we get a lot of kids in our neighborhood getting candy. And I like doing that. So I carved a pumpkin.
Nice.
And gave out a lot of candy and watched Bride of Frankenstein. Generally had a gay old time. But you, sir, had the king of all costumes. And I mean, seriously, you really looked good. But you should usually be the one to describe and name it.
Thank you. Yeah. So the day before Halloween, actually it was 2 days before Halloween, my wife tells me that we're going over to her friend's house to take her kids out trick-or-treating and then hang out with a few people. And I'm like, I don't want to go do this. But then she's like, well, we can dress up too. And so I was like, all right, well, I could have some fun with that at least. And so the very first thing that popped into my head was I'm going to be Thomas Gabriel Fisher, a.k.a. Tom G. Warrior.
That was it. It was the first thing that came in.
It's the very first thing that popped into my head because I was like, who's somebody awesome that's metal that has a distinctive look, that's not too complicated.
There's no way I could look like Jay. So you know what? I'm going to go Tom G. Warrior.
And George, your base that you're starting from is so there, skinny guy, long gray hair.
Exactly.
The difference is negligible.
It's a small jump.
Yeah. I called myself Fat Tom.
And Tom's not that thin, although he gained a lot. Like after the first Triptychon record, he's looking a little thinner again now.
Yeah. So basically, what I did was I hopped on Amazon Prime real quick, bought myself a gray wig.
What was the name of the wig?
It was like a Moses or something like that. It was
Rosie O'Donnell.
It was like biblical. It was Betty like White. A gray wig and a beard, and I didn't use the beard.
Please say it was Betty White. You know what? That'll work.
And I ordered this upside down cross pendant with a pentagram on it.
Where does one order those?
Both on Amazon. Yep, got them Amazon next day. And,
I'm gonna look at the pull down menu. Is there like a satanic section there? I gotta go for that.
I just searched on upside down cross pendant, and
well played.
I got that. So basically, to become Tom, I put on the gray wig. I put a black knit cap over top of it. I had put on the shirt that I'm still wearing, my Bathory shirt, this pendant, and then black face makeup around the eyes that just sort of looks like it's dripping down like he kind of does when he's playing live these days. And I thought it was surprisingly effective despite the fact that I have a beard, which he does not have, and my obvious excess weight.
Well, people can judge for themselves because there are pages on our Facebook page, Metalheads Facebook page, and therefore on the feed on another news story we'll get to. But I thought you looked like him, dude. And I'm not joking. There was one picture in particular. It's the one where you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Barb's not in it.
I got to say, regardless of what anybody else thought, which my mother-in-law actually painted my fingernails. We were in a hurry. We were stopping by to see them, and she painted my nails while we were sort of multitasking. And she thought she was pretty scary looking, and and my wife thought I was pretty scary looking. Regardless of who I was supposed to be.
You were scary.
Yeah, nobody knew who I was supposed to be, and I didn't expect that anyone would. This was more for myself and for you guys.
Well, it would be nice if the guy at the 7-Eleven was like Tom G. Warrior. No way.
Exactly.
We just had a Frost was just in here too, man. You're just a little bit late, bro. That's too bad.
Yeah, so you can see those pictures, like Jay said, up on the Facebook. It's on the Instagram, and if you're really desperate, I think Instagram copies it on Twitter as well. But yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, but hey, I do love the Halloween, by the way. Not that we didn't really whoop it up, but I like Halloween.
Yeah, normally I don't do anything, which is odd.
Now, of course, me being the asshole that I am, messing with my best friend, George sends me a picture of his progress, and I say he looks like Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
No. The other one.
Who did George say? And then was it your wife?
Yeah, my wife said, you look like the old lady from Goonies. And
She's not wrong. I mean, yes.
You know what I need to do? Maybe I'll do this tomorrow. Is put up a side by side of me, Tom, and the woman from Goonies, so we can see, which one is closer. Anyway, we have some other really big news. We mentioned this on the last episode. The new website is finally live. We are metalheads.com. Has gotten quite a facelift,
and it's beautiful. And I'm the only one. I mean, George is not probably going to say that because George is the one who put it together. But it's nice, dude. It's nice. It's easy to navigate. Looks sharp. I mean, it's the little things that matter. It shows some good fonts, really cool banner images, so on and so forth. So, but anyway, the site looks great. And if I may be so bold too, or both writing and putting stuff up there. George reviewed the new Iron Maiden record and the Mirror. We're gonna have to come to agreement on how to say that sooner or later. Mirror.
Yeah, I heard her do an interview, and that was how it's pronounced.
And I've got a Bellwitch review up there, as well as Cretus, and I just sent George a review for the new Monster Magnet. Yeah, but those will keep coming. We won't bother announcing those every week, but it's already filling up with content. So It's good. It looks great, dude. It looks great. You did a kick-ass job on it, George.
Thanks. And so basically, what we did here was, I used to write reviews on MetalDisciple.com, and then we sort of added the podcast, and we called it Metalheads or Metal Disciples Metalheads podcast, and I didn't see any reason to have two different brands going at the same time. So what I did was I just moved all the Metal Disciple content into a brand new website alongside with the podcasts and everything else. So now you can get everything in one place, and it's a nicer looking site, like Jay said, and it's mobile ready, I guess you'd say, mobile accessible perhaps, which the last site was not. It looked pretty much shitty when you went to it on your phone, as Buke was so fond of always telling me. So yeah, we're real excited about this new site, so go and check it out.
May I say something, George? Please, for the life of me, please. The site looks good. You did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Start, like a year from now, like you do.
No, January. January is basically when I start all over again and go, okay, time to tear it down and start a new one.
Exactly. It looks good. Just get it coming.
Well, the nice thing about this one is that, in theory, I could just swap out a template, put in a new style and not have to. The biggest problem, the thing that takes the longest is reloading like 400 reviews into a new site.
Yeah.
It takes for frickin' ever. If any of these things allowed you to just run a database, command, where you could run a script and it would just, take the SQL database and then upload it in there, that would be a hell of a lot quicker. But no, we can't do that. So every review has to be re-added by hand.
Speaking of reviews, too, I got to give a shout out to Buke because tomorrow night I will be at King Diamond live doing the whole Abigail record. I don't mind telling you, I've seen the set list already. It looks crazy. And he got us a photo pass for that show. So I'll be doing a show review and some really kick-ass photos.
Sweet.
Yeah, Sergey thankfully has a super nice camera. So, and Exodus 2 will be playing. So that'll be my first show review will be going up in the next.
Did you find out if you're going to be interviewing?
The promoter person got a hold of me just to confirm that I had the ticket and the photo pass. So I'm assuming no. But you know what? I couldn't be happier either way. I'll hold out hope, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that was her way of saying, this is what's happening, which was cool.
Yeah.
Can't beat a photo pass and a free ticket. I already had a ticket, so I'll give that to a buddy, and can't wait to hear the Abigail record live and then write about it on the site, man.
Hell yeah.
So cool stuff. And thanks, Buke, for setting that up, bro. Again.
We have to again thank Liz from Ear Split PR. She has already helped us from the barbecue till now take this pod to a different level. So
yeah. We will use that responsibly.
With great power comes great responsibility. All right. Why don't we get through a couple of points that we left off the last podcast because we were just kind of running out of time. One of the things I wanted to mention was this was about Buke's interview with Blackfast. Something that they said during the interview made me kind of go, it just resonated true with me. I was like, yeah, basically how they were talking about how they don't say, hey, I'm setting out to write a black and thrash album. We just write music and this is what comes out and this is what it is. And, I talked about this a bit on the interview with A Flourishing Scourge. I've been noticing that a lot, that the bands that I like the most are the ones that aren't catering to a particular style.
Yeah.
The corporate rock bands and the wannabe second, generation bands that come along, like when Ghost came out and they were huge, suddenly you had this wave of retro doom bands and they were all, specifically writing music to that style. And so that's why it's not as good as the original thing where people are just doing what they're doing. And that's what it sounds like. They're not, bands that are truly creating art aren't really thinking about what the style is. At some, like Flourishing Scourge said, at some point they have to think about it in terms of trying to brand themselves and put themselves with other bands. But it's not something that they think about when they're creating music.
No, certainly not.
And
go ahead.
It just struck a chord with me, and I was like, yeah, that's how you determine not necessarily a good band. You can just create music and it sucks, but it's certainly an indicator of a more original style of music creation, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you can't, I think all of the bands who are that way would have really good, easy conversations with themselves no matter what, amongst each other, no matter what subgenre they fell into. You know what I mean? Like they're guys that tend to like across the board. Like a lot of the bands that we play with here in the area, you can tell the only thing they listen to is Pantera and bands that sound like Pantera. You know what I mean? Like it is so obvious.
Yeah.
And I can't have an intelligent conversation with those dudes.
Yeah. Nobody that is setting out to ape an existing style is going to do anything groundbreaking.
No.
It's the people that are just making music for the sake of making music that stumble upon new ideas and create the music that's pioneering and groundbreaking. And so that's the stuff I want to hear.
I'm going to give myself a sales pitch here and say people should go read my Bell Witch review because it kind of talks about this a little bit. Just exactly this kind of thing, which is to just throw off all kind of notions of what's going on around you and get in your zone, man. Whatever you think sounds right. And that's how you pull off a record like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And many others besides.
Another thing that I skipped over last time around was my sort of rather embarrassing revelation that there are actually two bands named Shining. I never knew this. I thought they were just incredibly prolific. There's actually there's a Shining from Norway and there's a Shining from Sweden, and they've met each other and they're like cool with each other. They're like, you don't need to change your name. I don't need to change my name. They each kind of do their own thing. There's I believe the Swedish version, which is the whole like suicidal black metal band, and I really love their new album this year. And then there's the Norwegian band who they play what they call black jazz, which I don't hear a heck of a lot of jazz in there, but it's still pretty good too. So kind of feel dumb here that I never realized this, but they don't really, other than like a different logo, they don't really differentiate each other. So I just thought they put out a lot of music.
Maybe it helps with their sales. Maybe they're like, you know what I mean? Like they'll be like, let's don't screw it up, man. Just everybody who thinks that they're buying our record is buying your record as well.
Yeah,
smart.
Doubles the fan base.
I'm going down with this. If you guys want to start a band called Catatonic Society over there, that'd be perfectly fine with me, dude.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, you could really sell your old stuff, George.
Yeah, there we go. Crapatonic Society.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention this app that I started using recently. I'm always looking for the latest and greatest music apps and any way that I can improve my music experience. And I found this. I use a Mac, so this is on my Mac and it's on my iPhone. I believe it's also available for PC, but it's called Vox, VOX. And I stumbled upon it because I was looking for a new FLAC player on my phone because the one I was using kept crashing, and when it would crash, I would have to reload all my music again. And so I was like, fuck that, let me try something else. And Vox is both an iPhone app and a desktop application. So you can play your music on the computer or you can play it on your phone. And I'd heard about them before, and in fact, I already had it installed, but sometime recently they came out with a new service called Loop. Now, the Vox app itself is free. The Loop service costs $4.99 a month or like $49 a year. And what that gives you is unlimited cloud space. They let you upload your entire music collection, however big that may be.
Really?
Take heed of that, Apple, and your fucking 25,000 songs in any format. So I can upload all my FLAC files to their server. And
how much FLAC space you taking up these days?
I haven't checked lately. Probably a couple terabytes.
Damn, you're gonna shut that company down, bro. We made a promise we could not keep.
Yep. And so you can stream it through your phone wherever you happen to be, as long as you have an internet connection. Now, I've had other apps that made the same promise, and they haven't been real good. I'd go and try and play something, and it would just hang. And I've been surprised. They must have some like really great buffering going on or something. But pretty much just about everywhere that I have been outside of my house, when I tried to play this music, it started almost instantly, and pretty much did not hang up. The only times I ran into any issues were areas around town where I just never get internet. Notorious places like over on the Buke Nose, like on the Target Home Depot side of town. There's never fucking any internet over there anyway, so you're not going to get anything regardless. But
are you like 4G or 3G or what do you have?
4G.
Okay.
So yeah, just a 4G connection, and it's been working pretty amazingly. So I think I'm gonna re-up that. I did a month subscription just to see if it was worthwhile. I think I'm gonna re-up it because it's pretty badass. So
dude, that's awesome, man.
Whether you're doing FLAC or MP3 or whatever. What's that, Buke?
Why? Where's the benefit of that over, let's say, like a Spotify?
Well, the FLAC thing, man. I mean,
it's my music,
Oh, it's your music.
Yeah, Spotify. I mean, yeah, Spotify may have
basically your shit in the cloud. Yeah.
Yeah, it's everything I want to hear. Spotify has maybe half of what I want to hear at best.
What is the quality of Spotify exactly, Duke? Though
256K, not great. That's why I also have Tidal.
No, Spotify on premium is 320.
Oh, that's right. It went up. I'm sorry, but still, I'm getting FLAC quality.
But still, and this is a great little discussion to have. I keep reading various things online, and they keep saying that our ears are not even on point enough to be able to tell the difference between 320 and FLAC.
Right.
Yeah, I keep hearing that, and I'm like, I'm deaf and have like ringing in my ears, and I can fucking hear it. So these people need to shut the fuck up because it's ridiculous. I hear it like plain as day.
I can't even really take part in the argument that well, but because
I don't even listen to any of the promos we get.
And I'm just now getting some FLAC started, for myself, which I can tell the difference between FLAC and my iTunes shit. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And that's obviously when I'm mobile. I mean, now honestly, when I'm at home, mostly I listen to vinyl these days.
Yeah.
And I can tell the difference in that, obviously, too.
Yeah. Maybe you can't tell
so I don't. It doesn't make a difference what it is. It's not going to sound.
Oh, my car stereo bites too, dude. I use. I'm just talking like with my Bose headphones and the old iPod or whatever I'm carrying.
Yeah. Maybe if you're listening on Apple earbuds or laptop speakers, you can't tell the difference because you're not you can't hear anything with that anyway. So, but if you're an actual audiophile who listens with good speakers or good headphones, it's easy to hear the difference.
Did you? How much did you say it was a month?
$4.99 a month.
Oh, dude, that's not bad.
No, I'll probably do the yearly if I'm actually going to use it because it saves you $10.
Okay. Oh, dude, that's okay. Interesting. I'm gonna go look at it.
I've always wanted a way to have all of my music collection available to me pretty much everywhere I want to be. And on the off chance that you don't have internet, like Spotify and Tidal and everything else, you can download it directly to your phone. You can say, download this locally to my phone so you can listen to it when you don't have internet.
Gotcha.
So
cool.
That's my pitch.
That's a
These
very good
people
one.
ought to be paying me.
Hey, I like the way you think.
Yeah.
We're gonna find a way to make that shit happen.
Yeah, get some endorsements.
Yeah, you know what I like? Yoo-hoo chocolate drink.
He
Refreshing.
doesn't look convinced. Still doesn't look convinced.
He's having a stroke.
Oh, he doesn't have his audio on.
Yeah, you're muted, bro. You're muted, brah.
I always do that, trying to be respectful.
Sure.
It's again me in my listening habits. While it's a cool service, we've said about this before. My job, I drive to and from religious listening to podcasts. I listen to a little bit of music at home, so it's a great service. This is what we've been looking for years, George. Mm-hmm. It just I don't know if I'll check it out honestly because it just doesn't fit my life right now.
You're not OCD, obsessive compulsive, crazy person like I am.
Yeah, and you're Spotify. You're a big Spotify guy
Yeah,
too. Which
paying $9 a month for almost everything that we can fucking think of.
yeah, no, it does. It fills the bill for you. I mean, you turned me on to Spotify. I use it way more than I ever would have ever. I use it all the time. I use it all day at work now, and I don't even have premium.
I have it just so that if I'm out and I don't have something and I want it, that maybe I can get it. So I might end up dropping Spotify at some point. I'm carrying both Spotify and Tidal, and now this.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's getting a little much.
Right on.
So George is very frugal. That's what he's trying to say, people.
Yeah.
I don't think, yeah, well, if he is saying that, I think he's lying. Basically, if it's high quality, if they come out with an app that somehow you can push a button and the band comes to your house to play at a moment's notice, and it doesn't matter what it's going to cost, George just could pick it up. Be like, I gotta have it, dude.
Yep. That's the problem with obsession.
That's the problem with obsession.
Obsession for men.
See, look at that, dude. We're making money here today.
I know. So, did you see this in the news about the 7 churches burned in St. Louis? I saw that and I was like, anybody know where Varg is? Or better yet, where's Possessed?
I didn't know about this till I saw it on the thingy here, and obviously there is no. I don't know if they have any theories about it or anything. Vargas.
Well, they actually arrested a suspect in 2 of the burnings. When I initially read the article, they said that it was suspected to be race related because they were all black churches.
Oh, okay.
Which and I was like, no, please, let it be metal, let it be metal. And the guy they arrested is a black guy. So they're throwing out the race motivation on that one. From what I read about the guy, he just sounds kind of, just a little crazy, bad news, whatever. But, it was just kind of interesting that it was 7 churches. In case you don't know, that's the name of a Possessed album.
Yeah. No, I got your joke before. I should have laughed out loud and kind of called you out on that.
Yeah.
And he's in a wheelchair anyway. Did you know that about him?
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, I remember hearing that.
Yeah, he got shot in some random, I don't know if it's a carjacking or something, but it was after Possessed kind of went the way of the horse and buggy. And I mean, they're kind of back now, but he's the only one. The main guy, Jeff Picard is his name. Yeah, he got shot. He's in a wheelchair, poor son of a bitch. And he's, but he's still around and he does shows. I'm a little ashamed to say I can't think of the band. There's another band that's like, I'll look it up. That's like a thrash death band kind of thing. And their side project is to play the Possessed stuff with him singing.
Nice.
In his wheelchair. And they go over, they go over and do some of the best festivals and all that stuff.
Right on.
Trivia.
Indeed. Let's get into some news. I forgot about this.
This is fucked up right here.
I heard about this yesterday, and my wife came upstairs and found me literally crying at the computer. I saw this article, and this flashed me back to the station fire in Bucharest, Romania. So far, at least 27 people were killed and 180 injured at a heavy metal concert for the band Goodbye to Gravity. Apparently,
first of all, I want to ask if either of you guys knew that band before this.
No, I hadn't heard of them.
Oh, okay, me either.
I listened to a little bit of their music, and it was technically good. It wasn't my style, but it wasn't like some underground band. It was professionally produced.
Yeah, it was professional. I mean, they had a professional video, the whole thing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, both the band's guitar players were killed. And the singer has burns on 45% of his body. At the time that I read this, the bass player was either missing or in the hospital. I had conflicting information there. So,
Jesus.
So yeah, apparently the band's pyro caused it, and it's just like the station in Delaware, or Rhode Island, sorry. There was only one small door in and out, and people couldn't get out. And
yeah, it was like an underground bunker type situation, I think, like a basement place. I was telling Buke, I remember all too well. I mean, this was a while back, the station fire, and it was not long after that I saw Opeth for the first time. And there used to be this club here called the Pound, Pound, and it was in this kind of one of the sort of shipping areas of San Francisco, like where warehouses and literally shipping like ships. And in this place, I went with a buddy, and the only thing I could think of through the whole show was the station fire, because it was so hot, so crowded, and so little, and one door. That stuff makes an impression on you, man. It's terrible.
I had the same feeling. I mean, even till today, but particularly after the station fire, I'd go into shows with Buke, and I'm like looking for the exits, going, okay, if shit goes down, where am I going?
Yeah, exactly.
Because all these clubs, just like pretty much at least one visible exit. There may be something in the back you don't know about, but
you know what? Pyro and clubs do not mix.
No, and I never see pyro anymore. Who gives a shit about pyro? I mean, pyro is something that Iron Maiden does in an amphitheater or something. Yeah, it's not something you do inside. That's just stupid.
Totally weird.
So
tragic.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I'm not gonna get into details for our listeners, but I've seen some horrific things in my life, and I have seen video that was filmed at the scene of the station fire, and it is the most horrific footage I have ever seen in my whole entire life.
You mean of the victims and things like that?
No, this was not like after photos. This is like guys taking out their cell phones as they're like leaving the fire, and just the sounds you hear of people trapped inside. It just scarred me for life. Yeah. So I cannot imagine how this must have been either of these fires. So
yeah,
how many people were killed in the station fire? Do you remember?
Almost 100, if I'm correct. I'm
I thought it was at least 100.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I don't know. Wow. I wrote this number down yesterday. I'm sure that's probably gone up since yesterday. So our
100 people.
Our thoughts and condolences to all those involved with this tragedy in Bucharest.
Yeah.
It was just the most horrific video I've ever seen. I could not imagine anybody going through that again. Just to be trapped on the inside, or to be outside, can't get to your loved one or your friends. My God.
Absolutely. Yeah, imagine it was George or your wife or something, and you.
Oh, if it's George. Sorry, George.
Yeah, it's every man for himself, of course. But I didn't. Thanks. Yeah, but I mean. Throw me the keys, George. I need to get home. You were my ride.
I love George, but it is that classic. Hey, the grizzly bear is chasing us. I just got to be faster than fucking George.
Yeah, well, this reminds me, and I don't mean to make light here, but this does remind me of the first time I heard a Richard Pryor live album, and he talked about, all the proper white people making their way to the exit, and he's like, I will eat through 20 people's assholes to get out of a burning theater. And I'm like, damn straight.
Oh, sad.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to some good news.
Nope. Can't do that. The original bad news on this script was the fact that Frank Watkins, the former Obituary bassist, lost his battle with cancer recently as well.
Sorry to hear it.
Yeah, I found out about that. I was on Facebook, and I guess it hadn't broken on like Blabbermouth or anything yet. But James Murphy, guitar player and now a producer, who of course was on Obituary's Cause of Death. He actually wasn't officially announcing it, but he was bitching at the people that were talking about it before it had been officially announced. And so that sort of led me to connect the dots and figure out what had happened.
He had lymphoma, I think, right? Was that what he had?
I believe so.
That's like the metal cancer right now, dude. That's what Tony Iommi has. I think that's what that dude from Def Leppard has.
Yeah, it's what you get if you don't have a brain tumor.
There you go. You got your choice.
Yeah.
Well, so just to him and his family, our condolences.
Yes.
I will say this. One of the weird ironies about all, when these metal bands, when guys die, it's always, it's like always from a band. I mean, look at a band called Obituary. You know what I mean? It's just like...
It's like when Chuck died. His band's name was Death. Who couldn't see that one coming?
Yeah. You know what? It's when anybody dies, it's sad because there's somebody out there who loves them and cares about them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's
I went and read about him too, and he seemed like a nice guy, by the way.
Yeah, he was actually playing bass with Gorgoroth, I believe.
He was.
That's right, and he'd beaten this once. He was in remission.
Right.
So
right.
Came back on him and smack.
All right, moving on. This one kind of bummed me out. I guess it's not happy, but it's not as bad as people dying. Dee Snider sold the rights to the Twisted Sister catalog. I'm guessing he made a buttload of money, and now we'll be seeing Twisted Sister music in car commercials and shit like that.
Yeah,
We'd already been seeing
yeah.
We're Not Gonna Take It in some commercials. I'm sure that's going to increase.
I'm no financial wizard, and you know I like Twisted Sister. But if I was the businessman on the end of this, I would have bought that shit. And all I mean is like that. We're not talking about a huge future here. I mean,
you don't need the whole catalog.
Yeah, you're right. You need one song. You know.
Yeah, maybe two. I Want to Rock.
I was probably like, we're going to give you. We're not going to take it for $10 million, and I'm going to throw in the rest of the song.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel about that, George? Just on a kind of like moral standpoint.
Well, I mean, great for D. I love D no matter what. If he felt he needed the money for that, or I don't know what his purpose was in doing that. Whether he was doing it because he needed money, or maybe he wanted to support a charity. I have no idea.
I doubt he needs the money, and I'll just tell you right now, I don't give a shit. The truth is that the idea, the notoriety, and all that will always belong to him. And so, you know what? If he got a good paycheck out of it, good for him.
Yeah. I'm not going to knock him, but it was just sort of, it was a little disappointing, and to hear anybody give up their rights to these things. So
yeah, and there are more people in rock and metal have done it than you probably know. I remember when Ace Frehley from Kiss sold his music rights a while back. Actually, he bought him after the reunion was successful. He bought his back, but a lot of guys do that. This was why, by the way, a lot of guys were re-recording albums a little while back. I don't know if you remember, like Kiss went back and re-recorded a bunch of old hits, and they only did it because if those other songs were on commercials, they weren't really getting the money.
Yeah.
So then they recorded versions that they could put on commercials, which I haven't heard on any commercials, mind you.
Right. Yeah, I actually wrote an article a couple years ago, last year before, called "The Defilement and Ruination of Heavy Metal Classics" or something to that effect. It's on the under the editorial section on the new site if you want to go look at it. And
I do.
Basically, me poo-pooing the practice of bands re-recording albums, that have already come out, and just because I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Twisted Sister redid "Stay Hungry." The thing that instigated me writing this article was Manowar re-recording Battle Hymns. Yet I have to take into consideration what you just said is that a lot of these early metal classics, the bands don't own the rights.
Yeah.
And so for them to make any money off of these songs, they have to re-record them. And so I can't knock a band that needs money trying to make a buck off the music that technically should be theirs.
Even though I don't believe for a second anybody's playing those.
Right.
Like seriously. I mean, like if you were going to do Kiss in a commercial, you wouldn't be like, yeah, we'll take the new one.
No, but even just the royalties,
Oh, gotcha.
Those early recordings, they may have never been recouped.
Gotcha.
And so what they're doing now is they have the name of the band and, the ability to get this stuff out there based on that reputation. And so they're re-recording these songs and re-releasing them in the hopes people will buy them. And, pretty much the majority of those royalties will then go to them. So like I said, I can understand why they're doing it, but I'm still probably not going to buy it and listen to it because it's a little weird to me to hear a brand new recording of a song where I know all the little nuances. I know that kick. I know that, that little noise, and so it just doesn't work for me, but I understand why they do it.
I never even listened to that Stay Hungry re-recording.
I tried to once and it was just weird. I was like, this is not the album.
What's the point?
Yeah. Well, are you ready to see Buke get excited?
Yeah, he's been awfully quiet, so I kind of need a little bit of something here.
All right. Because a lot of these topics you guys are talking about, Riz, I just haven't had a say. So
juice them up.
You're talking about the new website and you're talking about writing stuff. I'm never going to write anything because my daughter banging on the keyboard, would be a better review than me.
Well, why don't you take this one then?
So this is the story that probably I was most excited about since we did the podcast last. Eddie, who is now the frontman of Suicide Silence, it was announced this week that he has joined the boys with All Shall Perish, his former group, and they are working on new material. Some people want to put them in the whole metalcore category. I don't personally agree with that. Awaken the Dreamers is one of my favorite albums to come out of the last 10 so years. So this story has me really excited. It'll be interesting to see what they can do with it. I saw these guys once at, I believe it was a Mayhem Fest. So if I get anything new from them and then touring again, I'd be really happy.
I'm excited for you.
And I'm intrigued because I don't know. I honestly don't know these guys, but I'll check out that record that you just called. What was it called, Buke?
It's Awaken the Dreamers.
Okay, I'll check it out just because you obviously like it so much.
Yeah, this is one of those bands. I mean, I don't dislike it. I get it. It is a good record. It's just not the sort of thing that I reach for.
It's not your wheelhouse.
But there are guys in the metal scene like Rob Halford, Newstead. Well, a couple guys were really high on this album when it came out.
Oh, well, that goes somewhere. That says something.
So I like it when I can hear about something and go, oh, Buke's going to be excited about that. Which I know he does the same thing. He's like, oh, George is going to be excited about that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like this next story for you, George.
Isan has apparently completed work on a new album. There's no release date yet. They just said it'll be coming out soon. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Of course I will. Let's get Emperor back together, though.
George, does he has 2 albums done solo?
No, he's got like 5 albums.
Okay. I don't know. It's only
there's Adversary, Angel, Aramida, that last one that I couldn't pronounce. So at least 4.
Are any Emperor members with him?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. There might be a guest spot on something or something.
Yeah, maybe. So. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. So Anthrax just released a lyric video for their new song Evil Twin, which is going to be on their new album coming out early next year. And we just heard that new album's going to be called For All Kings. Did anybody listen to this song?
No. Did you?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, no. I'm sorry to hear it.
I got to say, I thought it was complete shit.
Yeah, it was. Really? It was really bad.
I'm hoping this is like the Iron Maiden, where the single just doesn't really do anything for me, and then the album comes out and blows me away.
But I think the bad thing about this one, Jay, us going in, George and I don't know about you, but George and I coming, because we didn't know you then, George and I off of worship music,
yeah,
we're fucking riding high.
Dude, I was crazy about that record.
High.
Yeah, but when
it was any self-respecting metalhead, halfway decent Anthrax fan, dude, that record, when it came out, I couldn't believe how good it was.
Yeah, me either. That's the thing.
And I never expected it.
Before worship music came out, they released Fight 'Em Until You Can't or Fight Until You Can't. Yeah, Fight Until You Can't. And that was fucking awesome. I was like, oh my God. And it set the tone for the whole new album. And now this song, I just don't, I understand there's like a message to it, but I think the song kind of got lost in the message because it's just not that interesting.
They're almost famous for that, dude. Every time Anthrax gets a little steam behind them, they just fuck it up, dude. And I mean in every sense of the word. They've had tours that have gone that way. They've had records. They'll make a good record, then they make a shitty record. They make a good record, then they fire the lead singer. Just one thing after another with these guys. I think they must be hard to get along with, a bunch of dudes. But
I don't know.
I am really sorry to hear that because that was one of the best records of that year.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Give it a listen. See what you think. Maybe maybe by next episode we'll have something more to talk about.
Yeah, but I'm disinclined to think I'm going to think anything different than you two boys. I mean,
it happened with Maiden. You were right on that one.
Sure enough.
So you never know.
Okay, good point. Point taken.
So Gwar, as they are prone to do, have released another cover song for the AV Club. This time they covered Cyndi Lauper's She Bop. I gave that a listen. I don't know if you guys heard this at all.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm not.
I like it.
It's not. I actually am a fan of Cyndi Lauper, coming from the 80s, and it's an okay song, but it didn't do a heck of a lot for me with Gwar doing it. I mean, it was cool.
Their last AV Club was way better.
Yeah, but what did do it for me was the fact that they transitioned from She Bop into the Ramones' Blitzkrieg Bop.
Yeah.
So it's like they just sort of like, they are like blah, 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 She Bop, and then they just, boom, took right off into Blitzkrieg Bop, and that was awesome.
It reminds me a little bit of the Trollfest did a cover of Toxic by Britney Spears.
Okay.
It's good. Yeah, it did a really good job with it. I mean, it's totally metal-fied, but yeah, I went and listened to this one. George put it on the script. You know what? I'm just so happy they have the sense of humor they do. And I'm glad that the AV Club gets it. You know what I mean? That they would be smart enough to ask them to come on. You guys remember when Odorous was like on CNN for a while?
Yeah, when he was doing that like the sports stuff.
Fox Red Eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. That was awesome.
I think their AV Club performance of Kansas Carry On My Wayward Son is their best.
Oh yeah, that's what started this whole thing, and they were really sort of making a comeback based on that. And then of course, he died. So
he actually died.
I haven't listened to that one.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't you hear Dave Brocky's dead? Sorry to tell you. Sorry to break the news.
Man, still the weirdest interview we've ever done.
Oh yeah, with Beefcake. And it's
I
funny
thought
because
you were going to you interviewed Dave Rocky.
no, I wish.
Oh, we interviewed his ashes after George grabbed him.
Yeah, I can go upstairs and get some if you want.
Go put him in a can and shake him up. Ask him questions.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to preserve this chunk that I have. I was thinking about doing one of those like plastic lucite cubes, like sending it off and having it put into a cube to preserve it. I don't know.
I'm picturing a sort of Jurassic Park scenario.
Yeah, like
Maybe
sort of like
the
mosquito cotton amber kind of effect.
Yeah, and then somebody
You
will find
should
some.
eat it, George.
Eat it. I will become odorous.
Yes.
More odorous than I already am.
That's a pretty slick idea.
Yeah, well, I want to do something with it.
This is going to sound lame, but I'm actually excited about the next one.
Really?
Yeah, swear to God. Yeah,
Well,
it's fine with.
So there was
want another one.
there was speculation that that Black Sabbath were going to do yet another album after 13. Well, Ozzy has come out and said, "Nope, not doing it. We're doing these last dates, and that's it."
Good. That makes me happy because, as he pointed out in the interview, he's 67 years old. So he said they either got to do it now, but it always takes us 2 or 3 years, which is his way of saying I'll be 70 when we start the tour. You know what? His voice is getting lower and lower. I wouldn't be surprised if this was it for Ozzy altogether. But 13, I liked. I don't think I liked it as much as you two, but I liked it. But I would rather see Tony Iommi do a record with a younger, sprightly singer or something. You know what I mean? Like he's done so many cool side projects.
Well, Ozzy did say that once they're done with this tour, he's going to do another solo album.
Yeah, well,
or he said he was going to do his solo stuff, whether that means just touring or
supposedly
recording
he was
an
working on
album.
some sort of concept record or something. But I'm in no hurry to hear any new Ozzy music. I couldn't care less. You know, I mean, and I just mean because truly, there's a man who's past his prime.
Yeah,
And
but
I
despite
know I'm being a
that,
dick, but
myself and our friends Will and John shelled out $173 a piece to get tickets for the final Washington, D.C. appearance of Black Sabbath next August.
right on.
So, whether it sounds shitty like it did last time, we're at least going to be there to see the one final turd.
I don't know if I'm going to buy a ticket. I hate to say it, but they're coming closer to me than they were because now they're coming to Oakland, which is just down the road for me. That's like a 15-minute drive. But I did see them on the reunion before, and they were still pretty vital. And I don't know if I need to see them again. But if I have money and there's still tickets left, I'll pick one up. And I know I have to make that decision soon. But
yeah, well, I was talking to John about it, and we were like, we're just going to get there like when the gates open and just run around with a microphone and talk to people. And if nothing else, we'll get like interviews for the podcast on, hey, it's the last Black Sabbath show in DC. What are your thoughts?
That's good. You know what? You can't do better than that then because there's no more influential metal band in the world. So that's a good idea.
And failing that, we can drink a lot of beer. So,
either way, you got yourself a night.
Yeah, we got it covered one way or another. So I was excited about this next one. Witchcraft is going to release a new album called Nucleus on January 15th. The first single called The Outcast will be out on December 4th. Do you know these guys, Jay? I know Buke knows these guys.
I do. I love Firewood. I didn't like the last one so much.
Yeah, I liked.
They started going in a new direction, so I'm going to wait and see what that single sounds like. I liked Firewood a lot. I thought Firewood was sort of like pre-Ghost to me, minus the image.
Yeah, I've actually heard some bands that sound like they were influenced by Witchcraft. So, they were kind of innovative in their time, even though it was sort of a retro thing.
But that was a pretty big change on their last record, and that's fine. I totally support that notion, but it kind of got rid of all the spooky, I thought. You know what I mean? Like Witchcraft was kind of cool and spooky at first, and then it was a little more milquetoast after that or something. But we'll see. I don't like the name of the record that much. I wish it was called something like, some Sabbathy sounding thing.
Yeah, it sounds too like scientific.
It does a little bit, dude. So it could be like this could be their Never Say Die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or not even that, but technical ecstasy. Oh God. So we'll see. But I don't mean to. And far be it from me because I got to tell you, Firewood was a record I was way into. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. I'm sure we're all going to be running out on Black Friday to pick up the new Megadeth 12-inch single, "The Threat Is Real."
Has either of you guys heard anything about any other Record Store Day stuff?
Nah.
Not me either.
I haven't really been looking. I forget that they do it twice a year.
Yeah.
I haven't heard.
Yeah.
Well, I heard there was some Priest thing coming out. I know that, but that also isn't something not worth hurrying for. Oh, no, maybe that was even I don't know. But in any case, yeah. Oh, God. We'll see when that record comes out.
It's exactly. Let's just wait for the album.
Yeah.
Let's just wait for the album.
Is that the only one we've heard so far? Is there another one? I mean, I know I haven't heard anything else, but was there another song streaming yet or anything?
There's there's a song streaming.
I thought it was this one.
No, it was a different one. It was
I heard the
Fatal something or other.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting,
until the vocals started. I remember we all thought it was pretty good, and then it kind of went backwards. Like it was sort of like kind of sounded like old school for a minute, and then we'll see.
Yeah.
God, how could okay?
Not real up.
I was talking to Buke about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I admitted to him that I completely missed Megadeth as a kid. 100%. Really? Oh yeah, all of it. I didn't like it that much. I didn't like the way Dave sang. If I had heard Rest in Peace in a timely fashion, that would have got me into the band.
Yeah.
But I didn't think like Peace Sells was amazing or anything like that. I bought the first one, and it just didn't equal the rest of the stuff that I liked at that time.
Yeah, Killing Is My Business never really did much for me. Other than the Nancy Sinatra cover, I was like, meh.
It's okay.
And the interesting fact that one of the songs sounds kind of like a Metallica song because they both did it. But
well, now I totally get it, dude. I mean, but it was only in the last. I mean, I think the first one that I heard that I liked was like Euthanasia, maybe even the one after that. That was like I missed all of that of Megadeth, dude. They were almost kind of done by the time I got into them.
Wow.
Yeah, totally willing to admit that.
That's surprising.
And now I get it. Now I hold them in such high regard. It's ridiculous. And I agree that Rest in Peace is one of the greats. I've got a lot of favorite songs on a lot of different records. But no, just they walked right by me, and I didn't get on that bus.
Yep.
So that was my confession.
You are forgiven. So the winner of the Burning All Your Bridges Award for 2015 goes to Rob Dukes, who was quoted as saying, "Fuck those douchebags," about his former bandmates in Exodus. Sounds like somebody is not real happy that he got booted from the band. But I mean,
no.
What are you going to do? They want to bring back the original singer. I mean, I think everybody. I mean, I'm sure Ripper, when they brought back Rob Halford, wasn't real thrilled about it. But you got to understand it.
I agree, except I totally agree with you, George. Except to say that he's not truly the original singer, which I know you know.
Of course.
But I all politics aside, I like Rob Dukes better than Zetro. I think the records they made with him were better. I like Shovelheaded Kill Machine is like my favorite modern Exodus record, and Rob Dukes is on that. And I'm like, I know I'm in the minority on that. So many people like Zetro. Did you buy the new one? Did any of you guys buy the new one?
Yeah.
Blood In, Blood Out.
Yep.
I'll be seeing him with.
Still muted.
Yeah, you're muted, bro.
Sorry, my wife is going in and out, and I'm trying to be nice. I did not buy the new album.
Well, I'll be seeing him tomorrow night, as a matter of fact. But I know he kind of tried to get some stuff going post Exodus, and my guess is right about now is when it's not really panning out.
Yeah.
So Rob Dukes was probably looking at his next job type deal, and by that I mean like carpentry.
Yep.
So yeah. So
can I tell you where the hoses are at Home Depot?
Kind of, dude. But I think and it does sound. I will say this too in his defense. It sounds like that Zetro is really a changed man. Apparently, he was a real prick when he was in Exodus last time, and now he's just loving it, loving being back.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. That he wasn't really
easy to be around.
Easy to be around. Did I ever tell you the story about how one of my missed opportunities?
Oh.
Yeah, when the first Hatred album came out, I lost my mind because I'm a big Zetro fan, and I wrote a good review of the album, and apparently he read it because about 6 months before he rejoined Exodus, I got an email from his publicist saying Steve Souza would like to request to do an interview with you.
Oh, dude! And what did you? How come you didn't?
I didn't. I wasn't. We weren't in any way set up to do interviews at that time.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, the best I could have done was like emailed him some questions or something. And so while I was running around like a headless chicken trying to think of some way to make it work and to not like shit myself over the prospect of it, time passed and I realized I sort of like missed my window to get back to them. And so that's one of my kick myself in the ass moments that every time I think about it, I'm like, damn it.
I don't think you waited too long. Cash that check now, bro.
Yeah. I'm going to go find that email and see if he's still got the same publicist.
Yep. Can I just mention something you just mentioned? And that was, you mentioned the name of Ripper Owens. Very quickly. Tonight, this episode, of course, won't be heard tonight by people listening, but if you have DVR functions or if you watch the show Bar Rescue, Ripper's Rock Bar is going to be featured on Spike TV's Bar Rescue tonight.
I hope they rescue it.
I hope so, too.
Because I did hear it wasn't doing so good. There was a story about that a while back. Yeah, I saw that too, Buke. I thought that was hilarious. I saw a picture of him looking a little chubbier than usual.
Oh, yeah.
We need to get Tim back in a band, dude. A good one.
Yeah.
I reached out to him for an interview for the pod, but I never heard from anybody. I reached out to him. He's probably got a publicist who handles that shit for him or something. Or maybe he doesn't now. Maybe Tim gave up. He might have, dude. He might have been like, screw this, You're
just screw these guys. Who are these guys?
He's had some... Good point.
Metalheads. Metal dickheads.
That's right.
So
I'd be happy to see him go back to Iced Earth.
That's where I want him to, especially now. If it's not going to be Matt, it should be Tim.
if it's not going to be Tim, it should be Stu.
Do you like the Stu stuff?
Yeah, it's all right.
like it?
The main reason I don't listen to it much is because I'm just kind of tired of changing singers, and so I'm like, I'm just going to listen to the stuff I know.
When I think of Iced Earth, I think of that American power metal frontman voice.
Yeah.
And I don't like, and I don't think Stu has that.
Well, I mean, Stu was great with his last band, whatever the fuck they were called. The hell was that?
Into Eternity?
Into Eternity. He was great with them, and so it's because of the respect that I had for him with that band that I'm not just completely writing him off.
I honestly just didn't think they were that good at records either.
I haven't really listened to them enough to be able to say, So,
But I think that actually speaks volumes because you probably listened to them once and you were never moved to put it back on. And that.
But like I
which
said,
is the
part of
very
that
least-
was just my disgust with them changing singers again. It was just like whatever.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's my form of protest because it's like not only are you screwing up Iced Earth, but you screwed up Into Eternity as well because you took their singer.
Yeah. Well, I say Barlow first, Tim second, meaning, but
Sure, I can get behind that.
ain't going to happen, though. Or maybe you guys know. You'd know better than me.
Nah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I'll take the next one.
Okay.
Only that, and pardon me, George, for stepping on you there. Glenn Danzig says that he's 80% done with the album, with an album of new material. Now, the way did that read, George? Was it that they were 80% done recording, or that he'd written 80% of it, or something? Do you remember?
That's a good question. I'd have to go back and look that up.
Yeah, well, but I like the way you typed it here because that's the way I remember it. Was the way it sounded to me like they'd actually been recording.
Yeah,
and if they're
I think
recording
that's what it means.
Okay, so if they're recording at his house or something,
Yeah, well,
then that's highly possible.
the second part of this story is that you can also check out a cover of Black Sabbath's NIB that's going to be on the much sooner released covers album. And I'm a huge Danzig fan, okay? But I haven't really liked much that he's done since like Danzig 4. Danzig 5, he was like, oh, I'm industrial now, and like started doing weird shit. And from then on out, it was just kind of bad news. Though his last studio album,
Red Dead Symbiote.
yeah, I was going to say Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, you somehow every time we've talked about this record before, you always almost go video game on us. I would inspire people to check that one out.
Yeah,
It's
that
definitely
one was
something he's done in a
starting
long
to
time.
come back the right way. It sounded more like old Danzig, and
Yeah.
so I was curious. Okay, well maybe this new album's going to be something that really blows us away. Till I heard this cover of NIB.
It's not that great.
I did not really care for it. I felt like the vocals were like an octave too low.
Yep.
Like he should be singing higher because it was just too deep. And I was just like,
The first thing you notice about it is that he is singing in the basement right now.
yeah. And I'm like,
Which is kind of a 60-year-old. I mean, he probably sings it about as high as Ozzy does now. But it's not a terribly good cover. It's also just kind of antiseptic sounding. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing real special about it. The guitars kind of sound a little too produced to me and that kind of thing.
yeah,
The voice is way too far out in front. It's not that great, which is too bad because I was kind of excited for this covers record, believe it or not.
Yeah, I wanted to hear it.
So, bummer.
Yep.
And that's a great song for him to cover.
Yeah, such a cool song. Well, I'm going to drown my sorrow in some Motorhead Imperial Pale Lager. At least I would if I had some. But apparently Motorhead is continuing their alcohol-themed ways. I know they released wine, and I think they had some
They had another
vodka.
lager. They had a bastard lager.
Yeah.
Oh, did they already?
So, maybe it's time. Maybe Lemmy can just like stop making records, stop going out on the road, just make booze. Live off that. I don't know.
He's not broke, first off. I saw AC/DC beer in the store the other day.
Really?
Yeah. You might Google that shit. I think it might even be called like the name of the new record or something. I can't remember, but I saw it in this really nice, I wouldn't call it boutique, but very cool, well-stocked beer shop that's close to my house. And yeah, and then I read about it just a couple of days later. So that's out there too if you need one for the shelf.
Sweet. I'll look for it.
I didn't see who made it or anything like that, but
Speaking of Ozzy Osbourne again, I saw today that Ozzy and his son Jack Osbourne are filming a show for the History Channel. Apparently, they go around to various historical sites around the world, and I don't know, maybe Ozzy pees on it? I don't know, but or maybe Jack is like, Dad, this is Mount Rushmore. And Ozzy's like, what the fuck is that? I don't know. So
that's what it is, though. Literally, it's like a travel thing where they go to.
Yeah, apparently they go to different historical locations, and like I said, I don't know. Maybe they teach Ozzy about it. I really don't know.
Please let it be a comedy show. Oh, that would be so great if that is what they did. Basically, Ozzy fucks shit up.
Yeah, so I might watch this.
He is almost 70. Just to bring that back again. We just talked. Man is pushing 70 years old.
And barely acts like an 80-year-old. All right.
I'll check it out. Out of interest, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I will too. So our last news item, topical to the seasonal festivities of the last few days, Ghost performed on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on Devil's Night. Now, I don't know if, Jay, have you heard of Devil's Night?
No. To be perfectly honest, I haven't.
Okay, see, in Michigan, where I grew up, the night before Halloween was called Devil's Night. And that was the night when you went out and got up to mischief. You egged houses and toilet papered and whatever. If you've ever seen the movie The Crow, they talk about Devil's Night in there because the movie takes place in Detroit, and the T-Bird character or whatever, that's sort of his like pride and joy is the fact that every Devil's Night Detroit burns.
Is it a Catholic thing?
I don't think it's. I think it's just sort of a regional thing. Here in Maryland, nobody's heard about it. So I'm guessing it's just a sort of a regional, mythology sort of thing that. Did
he refer to it on the show?
No, I called it Devil's Night.
Okay, gotcha.
It's the night before Halloween. And,
did you watch it?
I did watch it, and I thought it was pretty good. They sang Cerise. And
did you see it, Buke? Did you watch it?
I watched it. I did watch it. It was cool. They kind of had like a visual effects on the camera. It was real dark.
Yeah, the footage was grainy.
Yeah, it was grainy footage, and the way the lighting is, the inverted crosses on Papa were really popping.
And they had
had people from the crowd kind of like drawn like zombie kind of walk up to the sstage.
Yeah, they were like people planted, and they came up to the stage and sort of did like a fake what do you call that when the churches when like somebody you smack them on the forehead and they fall down and they're caught by a group of people. You're saved.
Yeah.
They did that
in tongues and or moved by the spirit or whatever. I don't even know what you would call that.
Exactly, like speaking in tongues and shit like that. And so I was like, that's pretty cool. The fact that it had to be on Devil's Night or the night before Halloween is the only way that I'm sure they got on there. But
whenever you come over to George's house for the podcast, George takes the mic and goes, "Free," or something like that. Let the demons be gone.
Jesus be gone.
You make a good point, though, George. I like that about that ghost that had to be Devil's Nights. It's like the guy who did the song "The Monster Mash." He was really busy for like 2 weeks out of every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was it. This is my moment.
Yep. All right, let's move on to new releases.
This week's new releases, here they are. Spend your hard-earned money now.
In alphabetical order, by the way. Are they always in alphabetical order?
They usually are, yeah.
George, this third one, once you get to it, I don't know. I know you're high on it.
Just let me say screw you in advance. The first new release, I haven't actually given it too much of a listen yet, but it is out, so I want to mention it. It's the new Abigail Williams album, The Accuser. I've heard some good things about it. I listened to a couple songs off it, but it didn't really grab me. It was just sort of typical black metal to me.
Yeah.
Not necessarily bad, just not out of the ordinary. So I didn't get too deep into that one yet.
All their stuff has been like that to me.
Yeah.
It just that's like I'll look if I'm walking by, but I'm not going to run in the store, kind of thing.
Yeah. Another one. Next up, we have the new album from Abysmal Grief, Strange Rites of Evil. These guys are a doom band. I believe they're from Italy. They've got a number of albums out. They're kind of a traditional doom, but the vocals are a little weird. I'm not sure how else to describe them as just
very traditional, though.
Musically, it's very traditional doom. The vocals, they're just kind of interesting. You gotta.
I would say theatrical.
Theatrical is probably a good way. Yeah, it's not bad. I like some of their stuff. Some of it's a little weird, so you just kind of got to listen to it and see if it's your cup of tea.
Define traditional. What do you mean?
I mean like Candlemass kind of music.
Bell's Porter. That's what my cup of tea is that I'm drinking right now. Bell's Porter. But is it very slow? Very like when you think of it, like
a lot of power chords
starting out.
Big
like
heavy
literally
chords.
Like older Candlemass stuff like that.
Yeah,
older Cathedral.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you did good then. Yeah, I get it. I haven't heard it. Is it one of the promos floating around?
I believe I did just get that. Yeah, I should probably put that in the box.
Meh. If you're not moved by it, I would say don't bother, but
I probably won't go back to it.
yeah.
Speaking of Candlemass, I am just losing my mind over the new Avatarium album, The Girl with the Raven Mask. I'm not sure who liked the last album. I know somebody I spoke with liked the last album, and I thought the last album was good. It didn't really blow my mind, but it was like, yeah, this is really good. Avatarium is the new band featuring Leif Edling from Candlemass, and they're fronted by her name.
He's the bass player for those people who don't know.
And they're fronted by the singer Jenny Ann Smith. So
American.
it's a female-fronted doom band, if you have to make that distinction.
Is she from America? Sorry, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
How old is she while you're at it, George?
She's 37, and she's from
She's
Sweden.
got to be from America.
No, Sweden.
Really? That's such an American name.
Yeah,
or so it seems to me. Have you
And-
heard some of it already? Is that what you're saying? You've heard it already?
Yeah, I listened to the promo, and wow. I mean, what really strikes me about this album is, first of all, it's heavy as hell. And I attribute that to the fact that, first of all, Leif, Candlemass, hello.
Yeah.
The guitars are just like monumentally slow and heavy, and they're kind of backed up. There's like an organ keyboard sound going on. Kind of like, it reminds me of like some of the Deep Purple stuff, like,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah,
sure.
it's like it's almost like a church organ, and it sort of like doubles with the guitars, and it just makes it heavy as fuck. And then you've got this woman singing, which just, I mean, not that women can't do doom, but her voice, it's almost like it doesn't go, but it does go.
And I'm glad you just touched on that, George. That's the one problem I have with this. The music is Candlemass-like.
Yeah.
But her vocals are because when you're the female-fronted doom bands, they don't stand to the forefront as much as hers do.
Yes.
Hers overpower it and beyond.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I played this for my wife to get her opinion on it. And I was like, she sings in a very powerful voice, like Adele or somebody along those lines.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's like, I could see her vocals being pulled out and put with a completely different style of
She
music.
could sing for Nightwish like that. No,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? The Nightwish the girls sing.
Oh yeah, I mean, she's
powerful
definitely
songs.
operatic.
It's more dominant. Yeah. Yeah.
But I wouldn't call
Operatic
it
like that.
But I wouldn't call these operatic. It's just a very strong, powerful voice, and combined with this powerfully heavy music. Oh, I'm like so hooked on this album. This is definitely going to be high up on my list this year. It's killer. I really cannot recommend it enough.
I'm circling it on the script here just to make sure I try it out tonight. I mean, partially too because I think I'm one of the modern Candlemass devotees on the pod, probably the biggest one, I'm guessing. Even though
I'll fight you for that.
is that right? Okay, cool. I'm glad
I
to
love
hear that. 'Cause,
Candlemass.
I know you like it, and I didn't know if you liked it as much as I did. I mean, I thought everything with Robert Lowe I thought was not only great but so super heavy. Just like, all right, I'm gonna check it out tonight, George.
Excellent.
I'm glad you gave it such a pitch.
And it's funny because the next album on the list is Draconian and their new album Savron, and they're a band that in the past I have just been a huge fan of. And they're a doom band with a male and female singer, where the male singer sings harsh vocals and the female singer sings clean vocals. And they switched female singers between the last album and this album. I didn't really notice that much of a difference, but I think I've heard so many male harsh vocal, female clean vocal bands in the last 5-6 years since their last album came out that I'm just kind of tired.
Yeah, it's a tired thing. That's definitely a juxtaposition that comes off. I know they don't mean it this way, but it comes off as a gimmick.
Yeah.
And I know it's not, because they might be just totally legit what they're doing, but
yeah, and so I haven't really listened to it all that much. I mean, I've listened to it, but I couldn't get into it because I just kept going, yeah, I've heard this. Yeah, I've heard this. So
Cool.
I don't know. We'll see what happens with that one.
We got a couple coming up here on the list, and I'm kind of excited about.
This next one, I was thinking Buke might be into this. I don't know if you've heard any of this yet. He was really high on their last album. This is Hatchet and Fear Beyond Lunacy. I liked Hatchet's first album, which I believe was Awaiting Evil.
I think that's it. Nice pull, man.
And it was a really cool thrash album at a time when people just weren't doing a whole heck of a lot of old school thrash.
Yeah, but there's a lot of that going on right now, by the way, but go ahead.
There is, but then then after that album
is where I joined in, Dawn of the End.
And basically, the one dude basically fired the rest of the band and just hired a whole new band.
Gotcha.
And I was like, wah, wah, wah. I don't, okay, it may be good, but it's not the band that I was listening to before. And so I was just kind of bummed out and never really listened to it. So I haven't heard this one at all.
But it's that classic Bay Area thrash sound.
I wonder if it's the same lineup as the last album.
Which, by the way, I mean, there's one that we didn't include on. Maybe we already talked about this one, but that Black Breath album. Did you guys listen to that?
Oh yeah,
that's some pretty old school thrash right there. Kind of, I mean, it goes a lot of different directions. I saw them with Goatwhore, and they stood out at that night to me. And I was like, man, these guys are great. I'm really enjoying that new record. Just to bring that up here in the middle.
Yeah, I like it too. It's good.
The next one I'm excited about because Buke wouldn't shut the hell up about it, so I had to go and listen to it. So this is a cool record. I like this Hooded Menace. Hooded Menace is coming out. Darkness Drips Forth.
Yeah, I was surprised. I haven't heard anything from Buke about it since it came out.
He was talking about it a lot.
Oh, just not to me. I see how it is.
Well, no. I mean, like when you were here, I don't remember what it was. Well, go ahead, Buke. You go.
No, I was just saying. I was excited for this for George and I foremost. Not to exclude you, Jay, but this is one of those bands that
we bonded over.
That George and I bonded over. I'll tell you, this is not for your faint
heart.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, not even close.
This is brutal stuff.
And how cool is the name of the album? Darkness Drips Forth. It's not punching you in the face or springing up. It's dripping slowly forth.
And the cover is very appropriate to the title too. But I you know what it was Buke was posting it as a daily listen. A couple of times he put it up on his Twitter or his Facebook. I can't remember which. So finally I was like, okay, fine, dude. And I went and checked it out. And it's good. I like it. I mean, the faint of heart is extremely great.
Oh, it's
funeral doom.
Yeah, it's big. It's brutal.
Although it's probably a little, actually, when you compare it to like traditional funeral doom, like Skepticism or Thorgothan or any of those bands, it's actually probably pretty speedy in that respect because it's really slow, but it's not as slow as some of those. But this is Finnish sludge funeral doom. The production's really nice.
It sounds good.
And I got to say, I was surprised because it was supposed to be coming out on Friday, and my vinyl pre-order showed up on Tuesday.
Oh, right on.
I was like, not expecting it at all. It was one of those really happy surprises. You're like, oh, hey, look at that. And not only that, but the vinyl came because it's Relapse, and Relapse is awesome. It came with a Bandcamp download code, so I could get my FLAC files too.
For those guys who like noise, Neutrino, I'm talking to you. Check this out.
I'm not sure whether that was supposed to be an insult to him or not.
No.
You like noise.
Yeah,
just let you know that.
He likes him and I keep going back and forth having conversations. He likes a lot of heavy noise.
Yeah.
So this is perfect for him.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to take the next one, too, just because I wasn't into these guys till this record, but this is a pretty slick record, this horrendous Ana Rita.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say, Ana Rita.
I mean, it's not going to change your life, but it's a pretty slick little cool record, and it's funny, too, because I was kind of going through Bandcamp the other day, and I saw another band who had the exact same cover as this record.
Really?
Yeah, so it must just, I mean, obviously, it was
sort of
clear that it wasn't an
piece.
original piece of art. But yeah, it looks a little bit like Megatherion. It just calls that to mind a little bit to me.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good. Have you listened to it yet?
Yes, I have.
You and I talked about it, actually.
Yeah.
I think I was bugging you about it when I listened to it.
Yeah, this is one of the bands that Buke brought to my attention last year with their last album. And I was like, holy crap, it's like technical death metal and it's really good. And
Didn't you say the last one was a little better than this one? Did you like the last one better?
Me?
I thought one of you guys said that.
I may have said something to that effect, and this goes back to the sound quality issue. I had the MP3 promo version.
Well, I haven't heard the last one, so I can't.
Oh no, well, the latest one I got the promo for, and I was like, the sound quality wasn't all that great. And then when I picked it up on FLAC, I was like, oh, yep, nope, this sounds really good.
Yeah, I like it. It's not a top 20 probably for me, but I like it. So it's a good record. I've spun it a few times. Buke, you should talk about the next one. I feel sure.
Yeah, I had to scroll down the list. It was by page break. John brought this to our attention. Opeth have done a double release of Deliverance and Damnation, which are recorded at the same time. They released them into a nice joint package, which probably maybe how they should have been released together to start with. But these are finally out in nice packaging as a nice heavy, soft mix.
That was the intention. They were supposed to be released together. At least they were recorded together like they were. But I'm assuming you probably pre-ordered it. I mean, it's just a vinyl package, right?
It is. I did not pre-order it because I've been buying hut packs and I have.
Well, you have the records anyway. I mean, I'll order it. I think I have when we get to vinyl releases, I got to ask you about something. But or final purchase. But I'll talk to you. I'll mention that when we get there. But it's Opethian in nature.
That's the third time I've heard that now. It's definitely going into rotation. Opethian.
Opethian. John might have coined it on the show. I can't remember.
He did, but we heard it today in the interview with A Flourishing Scourge. They used the word Opethian. I should have called him out on it at the time, but I didn't really. It just sort of like passed me by too quickly, so it didn't make sense to go back and talk about it. But,
even better though that I wasn't there for that. Cool. Then that's something that's getting to the
vernacular.
The vernacular, exactly.
So this next one is the new Panopticon album, Autumn Eternal. I believe it was the last episode where I mentioned that I had heard this, and thus far it was not really doing anything for me, much like their earlier work. I'm like, it's kind of noisy black metal with not a great production. I gave it another listen a couple days ago as one of my nighttime, put on my headphones before I go to sleep, and first couple songs, per usual, didn't really do a whole lot for me. And then I started like falling asleep, and I was drifting in and out, and I heard some things that sounded a little better, like production-wise, and it wasn't necessarily your blast beat black metal like most of their stuff that I've heard.
Yeah.
And so now I want to go back and listen to the whole thing through again. I'm obviously missing some stuff in the middle and the end that perhaps might sway me. I'm not swayed yet, but the door is open for further exploration.
All right, so I got a trivia question then, and it's just as likely that Buke will know this as you, and you probably, maybe you both know, but what is a panopticon? It's an actual word that means something.
Yeah, I looked it up at one point when the band first came out, but I don't remember.
I actually thought you might know it, Buke, because of the law enforcement thing. It's a prison or a jail situation in which there is never a point or a moment when you are out of somebody's sight or alone. So it's like so that it would be literally the prison would be, the floor plan would be as such, so that there was never a point where in any part of your day where a guard couldn't see you.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it was, I don't know if there has ever been one built, but it was something that's of course been put down as just
theoretical,
overly cruel. Yeah. So anyway,
interesting.
There you go. Panopticon. Jay bringing down the trivia.
Nice.
Buke should take the next one because I'm curious what he thinks of it. I know he's excited.
So am I.
You guys.
Buke was all like, "Oh man, if you get the promo, get me this one. Did you get the promo for it yet?"
And he did ask like about once every couple days. He was really looking forward to this.
So much for singles doing their job, huh?
Yeah.
Getting you excited and then ripping out your heart. This is Twitching Tongues Disharmony.
Yeah.
After hearing the single for the title track, I was really fucking excited. It's so probably my favorite song of the year. As soon as we got the album in, which was a little bit late, I went and I fucking got it and promptly didn't even finish listening to it and almost deleted it from my PC.
Yeah.
Wow.
I told you when I heard the song, I was like, there's potential here, but I sense a disturbance in the force here.
Yeah,
there's something not quite right. And it turns out, you listening to the whole album, it's like, the way I described it to Buke was, it's Slipknot meets Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh, wow.
It's total like new metal. They may not go full commercial this album, but I guarantee you by like the next album or the album after that, assuming they get the fans and the backing, they're going to be commercial like that.
Yeah, the end is nigh.
Yeah, it just was like, oh wow, this is really boring. So,
sorry to hear it.
But also, they do have a couple albums under their belt, and
they're just getting to that point. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe the earlier stuff's better. I don't know. Well, I'll let you find out, and you report back to
us. May I just say to anybody who does hear what we listen to and can't remember what it is, if you do have Spotify, our listener Mark Franceschi He's done an amazing job. We haven't even met the guy. We didn't even ask him to do this. He blows us away every week with compiling a Spotify playlist where he painstakingly goes through and does a Metalheads podcast episode playlist.
Basically everything we mention.
Everything we mention.
Yeah.
Even if it's not
That's just-
on Spotify, he tweets it out and tweets out the Bandcamp page for it.
Yeah, did you
Bless
see
your
that?
heart for that, dude.
Did you see the last one where I broke him with all that 17 bands in my what I'm listening to?
I think he took it as a challenge, dude. He was like, "Fuck you."
I'm going to take
Bring
it a
it
little
on.
easier on him this week, but not much.
Bless your heart, dude, for doing that.
Yes, thanks so much. I was actually trying to figure out a way, and maybe Buke can help me out with this. I wanted to embed these playlists on the new website with the podcasts, but whenever I did, when you clicked on it, it would just open the Spotify player. It wouldn't play in the web page.
Just like generically, yeah.
You can't take the link and embed the link?
No, I did. You embed it, and it's on the page, but then when you click on it, it doesn't play in the browser. It just opens up the player.
Even if you do the embed, even if you copy the embed code?
Yeah, it embeds in the page, but it doesn't play from the page. Maybe it only does that if you don't have the player installed. I don't know. I'd have to try that on a machine that doesn't have it. Maybe if you have the player installed, it automatically opens it. But I was like, that's lame, so I didn't do it.
Gotcha. But it does go to the proper playlist, at least when it opens it?
I believe so.
Gotcha.
I was so incensed by the fact that it wouldn't do what I fucking wanted it to.
Well, it was a noble notion to do that.
Yeah, so I'll continue looking into that, and maybe we can make that happen.
But please, if you're on Spotify, follow Mark, follow his playlists, and again, Mark, thank you from all of us here.
Huge shout out. Yeah. Mark,
And-
if you'll get us an address, I'll send you a Catatonic Society CD. Not to make them sound like they're always gold or something, but I feel like that's the least I can do for you, bro. Would you message us on our Facebook page at your convenience? Just say, hey, Mark here. Here's my address, and I'll get you a CD out.
Right on.
But don't expect it till like March, because he's great.
I like to do that with my friends. This is business. When it's you, Buke, I'm like, fuck it. I will say this. I just sent Buke the Mutoid Man record and t-shirt I bought for him at the show. And in all honesty, about a week ago. It would be sort of like as if it could quite easily have been like sending it to him when the new record was coming out. You know what I mean? Like, I waited a long time. I'll give you that. But I've always been timely with George, but it's because I actually like George. Oh, snap.
Snap.
The last new release we have is Vanden Plas Chronicles of the Immortals Netherworld 2. I don't know why it's called Netherworld 2 because I don't know if there's a Netherworld 1. That doesn't ring a bell to me, but this is these guys are kind of close to my heart. In particular, they have a record that came out in 2006 or something called Christ O, which is such a good record. And then the ones before that are really good too. And then the last one I didn't care for so much, but I'm always excited to see when they do something new. They're like a great mix between super melodic, kind of power metal singing with really aggressive guitars at times, and then also just real melodic and they all can play like crazy. So I'm not doing a very good job describing them, but I was really excited to see that they're one of these guys that has a record coming out every like 4 years. So this one kind of caught me off guard. There are a couple advanced tracks out that didn't exactly blow my mind, but it sounded like Vanden Plas. So I'll get it when it comes out. So
Sweet.
But while we're on it, I would just tell people check out Christo. That's a really amazing record.
All right, let's do our top three.
What's your topic? What's your topic? What's your this week?
As put forth by Buke this week, which it's interesting that this should come from him.
Yeah,
Put forward about Buke for me as a fan of my two friends here. I want to see your guys' opinion. More importantly, George's. Because I know my favorite is not popular.
Whatever.
Yeah, and you also mentioned when you suggested this to me that we do this in honor of the news about Satyr.
Oh yeah.
And so, of course, that means we're doing our top three Satyricon albums.
And I'll just tell you right off the bat, I kind of went from eras. You know, I kind of hit different eras here. One I would call early, one I would call transitional, and one I would call new. So, or the late era, I would say. So we're just going to start with me, as we always do. My third favorite, and I really do like this record a lot. This would be the one that would be more of the newer Satyricon, and it's Age of Nero.
Nice.
That's a great record. I really like it. Not going to say much more than that.
I like all of them, so.
It's got, yeah, I'll say one more thing other than that, which it has the guitar sounds on new Satyricon records, and I think particularly on Age of Nero, are very much like Tom Warrior's modern guitar sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
You hear that? Yeah. All right, Buke, let's get your number 3.
If you have a record player, do yourself a favor, go out. It'll cost you $20, 25. My number 3 is there. Again, as a lover of live recordings, Live at the Opera.
Yep.
That's great. That's a good call.
$25 get you what, guys? 4 discs? Sorry, three. Four. Yeah, three discs for like 30 songs recorded with an orchestra. Spans their whole catalog.
Yeah, that I actually have an honorable mention, and even my honorable mention splits in half because I was listening to the live album yesterday, and I was like, it's so cool that a band, Metallica has done this, but the fact that Satyricon, a black metal band, is doing this is just so cool. But my other honorable mention is the self-titled album because it's just, I feel like Satyricon has constantly pushed the boundaries of black metal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they caught tons of shit on this self-titled album for the song Phoenix, which featured clean vocals, which weren't even Satyr's vocals. They brought in a guy to sing these vocals. And I'm like, what the fuck is people's problem?
Yeah.
Emperor
and
had clean vocals on Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk, and everybody loves that album.
Yeah.
So
people are hard on Satyricon when they try to do different things. You're right about that.
Yeah. So those are I guess you'd call it a 4 and a 5, technically.
Well, get your 3.
My number 3 is The Shadow Throne. And this was tough because my 2 and my 3 really could be interchangeable. The Shadow Throne, for me, is the album where they start to sound really confident in what they're doing, and the production sort of starts to match that. Their first album, while awesome, sounds a little raw in the sense that some of the pieces don't gel, like the wood corners don't quite meet and quite right. But so
you couldn't say they're great. Their greatness was not that apparent right away. It really wasn't. It took them a little one or 2 releases to pick up that kind of head of steam where they really had a sorry. Yeah, dude. Well, anyway, sorry. I broke my concentration there. But yeah, definitely, dude. I think that's a great record.
What's your number 2?
By the way, I like all of them, just so you know.
Yeah. What's your number 2?
This is where I went from the transitional era, Volcano.
Nice.
Also a bit of a controversial one, I think, with some people. But maybe they kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit, started getting a little bit better production. It's a good bridge between my number 3 and my number 1. So.
Okay. Buke, number 2?
Nemesis Divinia. It's probably going to be everyone's number 1, but
maybe.
but their epic Mother North is on here. So
yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 2, after just talking shit about it, is Dark Medieval Times, their first album. Like while I was saying that, some of the corners maybe didn't quite meet up, and the production wasn't quite as fluid as on the Shadow Throne, the fucking guitar tone and just the fact that they were putting in some acoustic and even sort of folky elements on this album, I just fucking love it. And this is one of my premier black metal albums.
And I totally agree with that, George. It's one of my favorites too. I didn't put it on my list because of the way I chose to do my list, and my number 1 was a tie between that and Buke's obvious prediction and accurate. My number 1 being Nemesis Divina, just really it's my favorite record of theirs. But I have a lot to be said about the modern era. But Dark Medieval Times is a great record, dude. So
yeah, I thought about doing the same thing as break it up into the periods, and I was like, nope, I'm just going with what I love.
What you love, yeah, why not? So that is it. That is my number 1, Nemesis Divina. It really is. It's the seminal. I don't know if important record is the right word, but it's a great record.
Yep, Buke, number 1.
I'm going to do what you guys just said, to list what I like, and Volcano.
Volcano.
Yeah, it's great.
Yep, no complaints there.
Okay, we got 2. Buke and I have 2 in common so far. Well, that's as far as we're going to go. But
2 out of 3 ain't bad, I've heard. All right, well.
And that brings us to the George.
George, number 1, no surprises here, Nemesis Divina.
There you go.
Yeah, that was, I think that was my first Satyricon album that I was able to find in the store. I'd read magazine articles about them before, but those early black metal albums were, unless you mail ordered them, they were kind of hard to come by in the store.
Yes.
And so I remember when I saw Nemesis Divina Davina in the store. I was like, snag. And I was just like, wow, and it, the album starts off, this is Armageddon. And it just fucking rips your face off from there.
And even the cover's kind of groundbreaking for a black metal record at the time too.
Yeah. And like the inside art, with like Satyr on the throne, and they got the corpse paint and the blonde hair. And it's just like
good stuff.
One of the most striking images from the early black metal scene that I recall.
One of the reasons that I got drawn towards 1349, just because I so deeply respect these guys, which, by the way, I still say that newest record was really good.
I agree.
But yeah, I'll follow them around. You know what I mean? Wherever they go, it's going to be worth a shot. So
that's cool, Frost's other band.
That was a nice list. Yeah, 1349. Yeah. That was a nice list.
Yeah, that was fun. So what are you listening to?
I'll keep it brief. And both of these are due to Sergey, my good friend Sergey, our bass player Sergey, but I won't always say our bass player, Sergey.
What's your drummer's name?
Ken. And Ken's not as metal as the rest of us, so he wouldn't influence me as much, as why he doesn't get mentioned a lot. But I was in Sergey's car when we went to our show the other day, and he was listening to a record, and I was like, I knew it, but I'd only listened to it a couple times, and I kept thinking I need to go back and listen to it. And I was like, dude, this sounds amazing. What is this? And I haven't stopped listening to it since, just about it. Well, I hadn't put it in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Amorphous, Under the Red Cloud. This record is really starting to get its hooks in me, man.
Oh yeah, that's some good
stuff. So that's why I'm like, and then as fate would have it, Sergey also played another record that I'd never heard, and he made a copy for me called Triosphere, The Heart of the Matter. This is somewhere halfway between progressive and power metal without actually being either one, and that's actually his description. I can't do his Ukrainian accent, but it's pretty slick. I like it. This is good stuff. I would. It's a little bit heavier on the guitars. It's not just straight up power metal. It's not as sort of smooth as power metal is. So this is good if you're kind of in the mood for a little European kind of power metal-y thing. So Triosphere, The Heart of the Matter.
Yeah, I actually picked up their last album. Wrong. No, was it first? I actually picked up their first album while I was in Norway for my sister's wedding. It was like the one album I bought in Norway. Their first album called Onwards. The band is actually from Trondheim in Norway, and I went into this little hole-in-the-wall metal shop. I was like, I'm in Norway at a heavy metal store, and it wasn't much bigger than like you pretty much just like walk in and like turn. It's a really small place, and I was like, I don't know what to get, and I must have heard something from the band, because I was like, oh, cool, I've heard of this, I'll grab it, and so
it won't change your life, but it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Which, just to kind of piggyback on your story, George, I bought when I was in Norway, I bought Enslaved's Vertebrae record.
Nice.
While I was in I forget the name of it. Bergen.
Bergen, yeah.
Which is where they're from. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. What do you listen to, Buke?
Going back to the very first episode that George and I did, and what we're listening to on the first album, there's a stoner doom band, more stoner than anything else, called Saviors. Mm-hmm. Their last album, Death's Procession, I mentioned it on the first episode. It was my what I'm listening to. Sold George on it. It's fucking riff-tastic.
Riff-tastic.
Well, this album, Palace of Vision, came out on October 30th on Listenable Records. It's fucking amazing. 70s sound, kind of just riffage. Awesome.
Yeah, I like those guys.
So this is Palace of Vision. As George says, check it out. And may I also throw in another thing I've been listening to as well. This is a second generation new wave of British heavy metal band that kind of, for some reason, I think as other genres were getting big, they kind of passed them by. This is an album that came out a couple years ago by the band Cloven Hoof.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I've been listening to them as well.
Excellent.
I'm sorry to come back to me real quick, but you really reminded me of a record that I was kind of pitching to you guys recently, and I do want to pitch to other people, and I'm still listening to it, and it's Serpent Throne. You got passed up. You don't do it.
God, that's good stuff. I remember their earlier stuff, and I was actually looking for the new album, and I was kind of not happy that it's not on Bandcamp.
It's on Spotify if you want to at least check it out, George. I love this record. It's called Brother Lucifer, and it's all instrumental. It's like instrumental Sabbath. There is no wasted seconds on this record. I got to say, I spin this thing a lot. I listen to it on Spotify. I don't have a copy of it yet. So anyway, it's Serpent Throne. People check that out.
I have a third one, and this is the band Sadist and their album Hyena.
Yeah, it was good too.
Really good. Really
New
really,
record.
really good.
That's a new
Very
record.
new record. Yep, very new. Yep.
Excellent.
These last couple weeks are going to be hard.
Yeah, we're starting to get in. Now that it's November, we're starting to get into the slow season. Although last year I said that, and then we kind of got hit with some stuff at the end of the year. So we'll see. But usually once the holidays start kicking in, people aren't releasing as much because, people just aren't thinking about music at that time of year. And so, I don't know, they kind of wait. They either do it in early to mid-November or they wait till January.
Well, you know what is for sure, though? It doesn't need to be worked out these last couple weeks. Twitching Tongues is not on my end of list.
Not mine either.
It'll make end of the year
That
songs.
much easier. Yeah.
But-
Oh, yeah. All right. Fair enough.
All right, I'm sorry to do this to you. Last week I had 17 bands. I think this week I have 13.
I have 64 new bands.
I'll try
Mark
to go
is
through
like,
them quickly.
Fuck.
Sorry, man. I didn't. I thought I was only going to have a couple, and I've got one that I'm just I'm just losing my mind over. But it sort of got away from me. So the first one is actually not a new album. It came out last year, but I just came across it about a week ago. I don't know how to pronounce it. The band Aeneon. It's Aenaon, and the album is called Extance. It's their second album. They're a Greek progressive black metal band, and the quality of this album just really rocked me back on my heels because I was like, why did I not hear this last year? It is really good. Definitely one of, if you listen to only a couple albums from this list this week, this is one you should definitely check out. Next up is one that kind of surprised me because I wasn't really all that keen on their first album. This is Corrections House, Know How to Carry a Whip. This is singer Mike Williams from I Hate God and Scott Kelly from Neurosis and a couple other guys. And it's sort of experimental, avant-garde sludgish kind of stuff. I just happen to
sound like Scott Kelly at all. Avant-garde, sludgish.
Yeah. And I started listening to it, and I was like, I kind of like this.
Cool.
So I'm going to have to go back and listen to the first album now and see what that's all about.
You need to go check out that Steve Von Till record, too. Don't forget to do that.
Oh, I haven't forgotten.
Yeah.
What I mean.
Okay. Just a little bug in your ear.
Yep. Next up is a band called Curse of the North and their album Curse of the North 1. This is yet it's their second album. These guys are from Seattle as well. That's, A Flourishing Scourge is from Seattle as well. I don't know if these guys know each other, but they're sort of I'm not sure how to label this. It's kind of doomy thrash, maybe. The vocals aren't all that harsh. It was just kind of an interesting listen. I picked it up on Bandcamp. Next up is the band Decadent and their album Veritas. That's Decadent with a K, not a C. This is the fourth album from a Slovenian black metal band. Another one that I found on Bandcamp, and I was like, yeah, it was good, so picked it up. And then we have another Belgian black metal band called Drawn into Descent, and their self-titled first album. This is atmospheric black metal. I didn't really hear a lot of vocals on this. It was just a lot of really cool music, and that was enough to sell me. Next up, I'm going to catch some hell for this one, I'm sure. The band is called Fister. Waiting for the chuckles. Little, immature chuckles. Come on.
Well, the problem is we're on video here, so now people just have to shake their heads and roll their eyes. And that doesn't really translate, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, and the album's called 4, like Roman numeral 4. They're a doom sludge band from St. Louis, and the album's just one long 44-minute song. I got that on Bandcamp as well. It was just kind of cool. Okay, next up is the band that, this is, if you listen to nothing else from this list, you have to check these guys out. Be damned if I can pronounce it. They're a French band, a black doom band called Maïeutiste. It's like Maieutiste. I guess they got a deal on vowels. and it's their self-titled album, and it's a black metal album, but it really runs the gamut of all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's like a black doom. So it's like it's fast, it's slow, there's clean parts, there's heavy parts. It's I found this on Bandcamp. I just gave it a casual listen, and I kept listening, and then I kept listening, and I was just like, man, this is really good. So definitely check that one out.
Cool.
This next one, the band's called Neurotech, and the album is Stigma. I got this one from our friend in Peru, Emilio. He recommended this band to me, and I'm kind of digging it. This is a little different from my usual fare. This is a Slovenian symphonic industrial metal band. It's all done by one guy named Wolf, and this was a kind of a palate cleanser for me because I don't listen to a lot of industrial anymore. Back in the mid 90s, I got into a lot of industrial, Ministry and 9 Inch Nails, and I did Skinny Puppy. And
you didn't have much choice, dude. You had to get into it back then.
Yeah, because it's that was what was heavy.
Was what was going on, yeah.
Yeah, until I found out about a lot of the death and black metal stuff that was starting to take off. But and there was a band that I really liked from that area that I've never heard anybody else that liked them. They're called Circle of Dust, and this kind of reminds me of that because it's really very electronic, but it's kind of heavy and it's melodic, and I was like, wow. After listening to all this black metal, this was just a nice change of pace. So thank you, Amelia. Also, thank you for checking out the website when I was trying to get it up. Amelia was helping me out by checking to see if he could see the new site because we were having a lot of issues with some people being able to see it and other people not being able to see it. So thanks for your help, man. Next album isn't even metal, yet they have a very metal name. This is a band called Ulfsang, which I'm guessing means wolf song.
Seems like a good guess.
Yeah. They're a Canadian neo-dark folk instrumental band. And speaking of palate cleansers, I read a review for this on Metal Hammer or something like that. So, I don't always understand why some bands get lumped in with metal when they're obviously not metal, but it was a nice palate cleanser. It's really folky, just kind of relaxing, chill music. And so I picked that up on Bandcamp. Next up is a band, actually it's a one-man project called Unearthed Elf. And this is just sort of a side project. It's called 2015 Demos. This is from Keith, one of the guys from Arctic Sleep. It's a band that I discovered a couple years ago that I'm really big fans of those guys. And I was talking to Keith a couple weeks ago after I picked up their Arbors album on Bandcamp again, so I could get the flack. And he wrote to me and he was like, "Why are you buying my music? Just tell me and I'll send it to you." And I was like, sorry, just thought I'd give you the money. But anyway, while I was talking to him,
dude.
I asked him what he was up to. Is there going to be a new album soon? And he told me, I'm working on this other side project called Unearthed Elf. And it's interesting. I really like it. It's very different from Arctic Sleep. That's all I can say is you should check it out. You can go and download it for free, so why not? I'm digging it, though. Next up is a band that I tried to sell it to Buke, but I had never heard anything back from him. The band's called Vol, and the album is Deeper Than Sky. This is the second album from this black power crust band. It's the singer from Yob and two guys from Hammers of Misfortune, which I thought maybe Jay would be interested in. I
haven't checked it out. No, but I have, and that's
George. I'll be honest. I just haven't listened. Work for me this past week has just been crazy.
That's cool. I think you guys will like it.
Well, I'm gonna.
When I am playing hockey tonight, I will spin it.
Excellent.
Yeah. You know what? Let's double that up. Is it VOHL?
Yep,
right here. The album art looks kind of like a dream catcher.
Thanks. Yeah, I remember. It's funny because I completely forgot about that, George. But that is such an interesting mix too. Because by the way, I'm a Yob fan too.
And I'm seeing Yob Sunday night. By the way.
Oh, I didn't know that, dude. Is it a headline show or are they?
They're playing up in Baltimore. Yep, headline show.
Cool.
Excellent. All right, I have one more, and that is from the Netherlands. This is the first album from Wiederganger, and this is a tough one. Hafvergen Antwacht. No idea how to pronounce that. But the band name, Wiederganger, Wederganger. And it's some cool, it's black metal. It is what it is. But it is worth checking out. So give it a listen. And, it occurred to me, I don't think I've said this before, but, you listen to my list and I get a lot of this stuff from Bandcamp. So, if you use Bandcamp at all, look me up on there. Follow me so you can see the stuff that I'm buying before I even put it on this list. I'm on there as Metalheads Podcast George. So I think if you just search on Metalheads Podcast or whatever, I'm not exactly sure how you find people on there. Buke knows how to do it, but look me up, follow me, then you can see what kind of shit I'm buying. Why don't we move on to our classic albums?
I'm going to do two this week just because one is an honorable mention. I'm sure one of you guys has chosen this in the past, but it's just Abigail. This because I am going to see King Diamond sing that record tomorrow night. Very much looking forward to it. So that's one of mine.
It's getting harder and harder for me to remember ones that I've done. I really need to go back and through each episode and make a list so I can reference it.
You're right. You're right, dude. Now my other one is kind of weird, and I don't know. George, you must know these guys. They had one, maybe two good records. They were new wave of British heavy metal band, and then they kind of went poppy, kind of weird. They have their second record they made, and then they got a new lead singer and re-recorded it with the lead singer, re-recorded the old singer's vocals on it. I don't think the original one ever came out. It doesn't matter because this record is like halfway between Def Leppard's Pyromania and like Iron Maiden Number of the Beast. I swear, and like literally, like every other song is like one's kind of like about love, and then the next one's about samurais. Anyway, it's called Tokyo Blade, Night of the Blade. I highly recommend this record.
Yeah, definitely. I know those guys.
It's totally new wave of British heavy metal stuff, but it's a great record. So that was it. Long preamble, but that's my suggestion for the week.
Excellent. Good choice. Buke?
Nothing special. If you like riffs from 86, is the band Onslaught and The Force.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Crossover, punk type of album.
I remember when Power from Hell came out, I had it. I got that and Bathory on the same day.
Yep. I remember both of those together as well.
Yeah, I had them both on vinyl. Cool.
My classic this week from 1992 is an album that's gotten a lot of grief for this band, but I really liked it because it was kind of different, and I think they were changing for the times in the early 90s, when people sort of had to do that. This is Creator and their Renewal album.
Right on.
Any fans?
Can't say I've listened to this one, George.
Really? No, me either. Sorry, I kind of stepped over both of you there, but I was obsessed with Creator, like early on, like Endless Pain, Pleasure to Kill, and then that first one with the guy like halfway up in the water kind of thing. Like there was like 4 or 5 of them that I really liked, and I honestly haven't heard it. I don't know that record. Yeah,
they got a lot of crap because this was sort of a little bit like industrial sounding.
Gotcha.
They completely changed their sound from like the thrash. This was a little slower, a little more, like I said, industrial, technical sounding. But I really liked some of the songs on there, and so
I'll check it out just for that. I don't know why. I think I just fell away from Creator before it even happened. You know what I mean? Like, and I do know that then they had this whole return to form, but I never quite knew which form it was they went to before they returned.
Yeah, they've had a couple different eras. I mean, let's see. The album before this one was Coma of Souls, and I know that's a big album. And then they did Renewal, and everybody shit all over them. And then after that, they sort of returned to form with Cause for Conflict. And then there's another album by them that's very different that I really like, which is Endorama. And then they yet again returned to form with Violent Revolution a couple years after that. So
I really like the way Milla's singing anymore. Like his voice has kind of gone in a slightly weird direction to me. He's always been a funny singer in a weird sort of way, but if he was singing a little bit more like he was in the first couple of albums, their like last 3 records would be insanely good.
Yeah.
But there's this weird timbre to his voice though that I just don't like as much as I used to.
Fair enough.
Well, cool. Good choice, dude. I like to see somebody pull something obscure out of, an otherwise well-known band's well-liked catalog.
Yep. Final purchases. What do we got?
I didn't go crazy, but I got a few things. I picked up the first Wasp record. Got to have that. I had mentioned this, made allusion to this earlier. I picked up a Blackwater Park 180 gram sort of reissue vinyl, and I was wondering if it's the one you have, Buke. It's like a matte finish, which is to say it's not like slick. It's two albums, and it's got like this big nice booklet in it. What's your copy like, Buke? Do you know what your Blackwater Park is like?
I don't know.
You'd have to go pull it out.
Here, yeah.
I got Monster Magnet's Power Trip. I got Iron Fist by Motorhead. No Sleep Till Hammersmith by Motorhead. These are both 3 issues. And then I went to a record store in Monterey, and they didn't have Squat, so there was nothing going to get you boys. But I did get a 1977 original release Love Gun by Kiss, and it had all of the inserts and shit.
Nice.
Yeah, the cover is a little scuffed up, but the record is perfect. And finally, I in the same record store, I picked up Songs from the Wood by Jethro Tull.
I love that album. That's probably my favorite Tull album.
It's like their Led Zeppelin 3 kind of thing, That's such a good record, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's everything I picked up. I got a couple other things that weren't metal, like I got a Billy Squier record at that same shop.
Nice.
Yeah, don't say no. I used to like that record as a kid. Buke, what'd you pick up, if anything?
I picked up 2 Castle records, both used. I got In Witch Order and Black Lands. I picked up an Elder album of Spires Burn and Release. Picked up Royal Thunder, their first album. Finally got Lateralist by Tool. And finally, and I have spun it, and I bashed it last year on the pod. It fell far down my list, but I have to give it credit. It should have been higher up. I picked up Machine Head, Bloodstone, and Diamonds. Every time I listen, it's a great fucking album.
It is.
I think maybe it came in right at the end of the year last year, and I didn't give it enough time to really let it
sink in, yeah.
Marinate,
Yeah, my first couple listens, I didn't really get it. I was just kind of like, whatever. And then I finally hunkered down with it, and I was like, oh, yeah, there's stuff going on here. I didn't notice the first couple times.
Yeah. Well, that's inspiring because as a devotee of the Blackening and the one before that, I didn't like the Locust one as much. That was a record I didn't really follow through much on either, too, so I'll give it another whack.
Well, you should give Unto the Locust another listen, too, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I just didn't like it as much as the Blackening. It was going to be a letdown no matter what.
Especially if you like songs with children singing.
Yeah, everybody had something to say about that one.
I love that song. The singing children aside, the song "Who We Are," I think it's called.
That's it.
Is the lyrics
Remember
are so
when we
inspiring.
did our closing album, our top closing tracks? I was so shocked that made my list and not yours.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I would have maybe chosen the one off the Blackening, even though I keep repeating that record. Farewell. Farewell now.
This is Who We Are. George has gone round and around and around about that fucking
that song is so the epitome of metal. I've said it before. It's like a song talking about, this is who we are. We're the ugly and the,
Sure.
ignored and the people you don't like, but we are legion and we're not going anywhere kind of thing. And it's just very inspiring to me.
That's off to Rob Flynn, dude. He's a talented dude.
He is.
Yeah. Does that bring us to George?
I believe it does. As I mentioned already, I got the new Hooded Menace, Darkness Drips Forth. I also got an Italian doom band called Thunderstorm and their album Sad Symphony. You don't see their stuff around too much, so when I saw this on Discogs, I snapped it up.
Cool.
I got the new Lee Dorian album, With the Dead, the self-titled album. Very good stuff. And I forgot I had pre-ordered this, the Bolt Thrower Live War. It was an earache reissue, or I don't even know if it was a reissue. Maybe it's the first time. Not being a big live album guy like Buke, but I saw them doing pre-orders, and I was like, it's Bolt Thrower. Fuck it. Let's get it.
Yeah, it's nice to have those pre-orders surprise you when you expect a little ways later,
Yep, I get that a lot.
You and I, George and I both have 4 Phantoms coming in the mail. Should be here any day now. So.
Yeah, I think mine might have come to my UPS box on Saturday. I got a message that something came in, so it might be that. I have to go check it and pick it up.
Did you order the fancy color, or was it
I believe it did.
Yeah,
orange or something like that.
It's burnt orange or something. Yeah.
All right, Deep Tracks.
Deep Tracks. All right, this is about as deep as it gets because it's off of a record that's a compilation record. It's a Venom compilation record called From Hell to the Unknown, and it was one of the earlier vinyl purchases I made after I joined the podcast because it was like a record I had as a kid and I loved it, and I had all the original release Venom stuff. Anyway, it's got this super killer cover with this witch on it, and there's a song on there that I've always thought was one of the best Venom songs. You can only get on this compilation. It's called Senile Decay. So that's my deep track, From Hell to the Unknown. This would be about a possessed era Venom compilation record, and the track is Senile Decay. Yeah, you can hear it on YouTube. I know it's on YouTube if anybody cares to try it out. It might even be on Spotify for all I know, but yeah, cool. Cool stuff. It's one of my favorite Venom songs.
Have to check it out. Buke.
First off, let me go back. Pantera, my band that got me into metal. I was thinking, it's a deep Pantera song that I don't even know if they played live. A lot of people I've never heard talk about. I don't hear it on internet radio. So off of Vulgar Display, I went with Regular People.
Cool.
Yeah, that works.
That's a good choice. I call it
Love
deep.
that song.
Yeah, that's a good song. I like that a lot. I was just trying to recall some lyrics, and I wasn't going to make a fool of myself and sing them because
Were you going to start singing?
I'm no Phil.
Don't accidentally start singing "Short People" with Randy Newman, because that'd be really embarrassing.
I know that song too.
Any streetwise motherfucker knows. Come on, George. Don't fuck with this.
Don't fuck with this.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, mine is Overkill from the Years of Decay album. One of my favorite all-time Overkill songs. I hate.
Right on.
That song.
I hate Overkill.
Is that right? Is that true? You hate
Yeah,
Overkill?
he doesn't really like them.
I like the more modern era stuff, though, more better. I like the older stuff. I'm honestly not a huge fan, but they made a couple of good records in the last few years that are great. And I'm not saying I dislike those ones, but George always chooses the definition of a deep track, so I'm going to actually go and put that on just so I can.
This is one of my all-time favorite songs for just like, screw you, because it's just, it's like the song's sort of like he's having a bad day, everybody's just shitting on him left and right, and he's just like, I fucking hate you, and it's just a good pissed off fucking crank it in your car song to just fuck you to the world.
Cool.
All right, we are nearing the end of the episode here. In a few moments, we're going to get into the last half of the A Flourishing Scourge interview, and then we will play you a second song from their EP, As Beauty Fades Away. Before we do that, we have to mention you should check us out on Facebook. Check out the Metalheads Facebook site. You can find me on Twitter at DiscipleOVMetal.
And I am at Catatonic J.
And I am at Opeth Fan. And the pod is at Metalheads Pod.
You can also find Metalheads Podcast on Instagram. We've got a YouTube channel. We're on Stitcher. And, of course, the brand new website, wearemetalheads.com. Please go check that out. Let us know what you think,
It's like everything you hear here, but in color. Live, vivid color.
Yeah. Yeah, there's pictures up there, too. There's a new picture
pictures of us
section.
even. Yeah.
So, let us know what you think. And if you have any ideas for anything that we don't have on there that maybe you'd like to see up there, let us know. Maybe we can make that happen.
And George and I are both tippity tapping away, man. So that content is going to get updated at least weekly. You'll see new reviews up there. As mentioned earlier in this pod, I'm going to put a King Diamond show review up there. We'll have some nice photos from the show. Every week you're going to see a little bit more there, and there's already a lot there to go through. So it's not like you're going to go and it's just like there's 1 week's worth of stuff. This is George's previous life and everything we've built since then. So
yeah, there's already hundreds of reviews up there, and I put in a contents page. It's like the last item on the menu there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so it's a lot easier to find things. You can actually click on the contents, and it's broken down by like podcasts, reviews, and I think maybe editorials, and video reviews and stuff. And you can just click on the band you want, and it'll bring up everything related to that band on the website. So it makes it a lot easier to find things.
And I was going to kind of add one other thing here too. And if you do go to the website, and over the course of the time, what you already see there and what you'll see added there, George and I both have kind of a stated philosophy of not necessarily reviewing records we don't like, because we figure there's enough negative stuff out there. So if you feel like we rave about every record, it's because we're specifically choosing records to review that we like. You might, maybe once in a while we'll trash something, you'll see, but that I just kind of want to use that as a disclaimer.
Yeah, I always mention that because people have said that to me in the past. Is there anything you don't like? And I'm like, yeah, the stuff that I don't write about.
The stuff you don't read about. There's enough good stuff to write about. And it's nice to have negative reviews out there, but we don't need to be part of that.
Yeah, yeah. There's plenty of other people that'll tear shit down for you. If you want that, go somewhere else.
Yeah,
but
they'll tell you what not to listen to. We'll help you figure out what to listen to.
Yeah, I think that's much more helpful. And you can use these reviews. I know some people complain we don't put podcasts up quite frequently enough. We're only doing about 2 a month. This is filler for you, stuff to tide you over between episodes. You can go and read this stuff and leave us some comments on there too. Let us know what you think.
Please do. With a shout out to our buddy Fiend, who joined us a couple weeks ago, as you all know, and Fiend put a real nice comment up there already, and I'm sure that we'll see some more. Yeah,
But truly, guys, I wanted to as we're being all heartwarming, touching right now, wanted to reach out to every listener who reaches out to us. And the day that we release the episode, they're already asking, when's the next? Because we're blasting through it. We have some of the most loyal listeners, and we all love this stuff. We're going to do it, and you guys are the reasons why we do it. So.
Yep. I was just talking to our listener, Neil. He's been with me for a while, since back in the 365 days of metal videos. And, he was really pumping me up, talking about how good a job we're doing and how much it means to a lot of people. And that's the kind of stuff that really, motivates us and keeps us going. So thanks a lot, Neil. We're doing this for you guys.
And speaking for the guys here, it is about to start getting into holiday season. I had a baby. That's the only time I ever had to cancel my wife pushed out a baby. I father a child. So with the holidays coming, schedules are going to start to get a little bit busy and tied up. We're going to try and do a couple more episodes, correct, George? We will be doing the epic. If you thought the mid-year episode was epic, we're going to be joined again by John and Will for the for the end of 2015 episode. So
it's going to be a long one, I think. I was talking to Jay earlier. I think we should do top 25 albums, because
it was a good year.
Yeah, and with 5 of us, that's just going to take a long time.
It is. We're thinking we'll just drop the news and everything else, and that'd be that's 5 guys listening to 25 records each. That's going to be 125 records. But I think it's worth it.
Maybe we may do like a short, top stories of the year, and then roll into.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, there's probably not going to be much in the way of new releases that by that time anyway. So just like
we'll keep it brief.
Yeah,
we got a couple of episodes. We're going to do that, and we're trying to local band that I know. We're trying to work out. Looks like we're going to do them in November. I'll remain nameless in case we don't pull that off before November. But we got a couple more episodes coming. But I agree. We got the holidays coming up. But as George was pointing out, I think we're going to hit 40 episodes this year.
That's my plan. I'm hoping we can do 40 by the end of the year.
Pretty good.
I've got a band lined up for possibly an early December episode as well. So hopefully that'll work out, and all my plans will come to fruition.
Nice.
Yes. All right. Why don't we finish out this episode with the rest of the interview with A Flourishing Scourge. All right, here we are at the end of the episode, and as promised, we have more music for you from A Flourishing Scourge. But before we get to that, we have a few more questions.
Gentlemen, you guys have released this album on your own label, Begotten Records. What was the choice to do that? Is that for possible other bands in the future? Or was that to just put a label on it? What's the background on that?
So it served a couple of purposes. We did self-produce the album, and we had to release it under something. We don't have a proper label, so we did actually create a business entity for the band, and a separate entity for anything that we do production related. We've actually put together a handful of our own shows and released this album, and the idea was always to kind of leave that open for the future. I personally love recording and producing music, other people's music, my music, whatever. So I love the idea of us potentially being able to find bands to work with and help, do what we can to help to grow some more of this type of scene that we're doing. We've had ideas of putting a compilation record together with some of the bands that we've played with, whether they want to contribute an existing song or come in and record a song with us. It's really, we do have ideas for it. It's kind of a juggling act of focusing on band efforts as well as the Begotten records or Begotten side of things.
Okay, so any kids in any high school garage band, send your mixtapes to 100 P.O. Box, Seattle, Washington.
We only accept cassette.
Cassettes are so wrong. Having chewed up many a cassette, I was glad to be done with those. I can't imagine why people got retro and wanted to do that again. Vinyl, I get. We're all about vinyl, but cassettes, man, they just sound like shit.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the resurgence is about. And maybe Andrew, he seems to understand that one better.
Andrew, come on.
Yeah, okay, no.
This is Kevin. All right,
Andrew, get various opinions on this.
I just like cassettes, and like you said, vinyl came back, and it's, everybody's favorite now, but cassettes are the affordable alternative. They're
I
easy
still
to
have
dub.
like 600 of them in my garage. I should be putting these up on eBay. I could probably make some decent money.
Well, for me, and you'll appreciate this, George, is that, back in the day, it was all about tape trading.
Oh, yeah.
That's how Metallica came about. So it's still kind of this cool little metal thing, too. We do have cassettes, so, don't talk too much shit. But you'd be surprised how many people want to come and grab a little piece of that stuff on it. So it's just something fun, mainly,
Yeah, it's mostly just, I like sound quality, and I've just, being old school like that, I've experienced so much pain from cassettes that when CDs came along, I was like, thank God, I don't have to, if I want to hear this song again, I don't have to rewind it, or, it was just such a hassle. But I mean, yeah, me and my friends back in the mid and late 80s, we made our own, mixtapes, and, you dubbed tapes, and that was how everybody heard about all these different bands back then. So
that's why George never got a girlfriend in high school, because he was always doing "I Love You" metal mixtapes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just how he said it.
Yep.
Hey guys, 2 more questions for me, and I'll let you guys enjoy your day. First off, the album artwork on the EP, it's amazing. Did you guys take that from somewhere? Did you guys have somebody draw it? If you can't answer that, don't answer it. But I fucking love it.
No, it's a classic painting. It's called The Triumph of Death, and it seemed appropriate. It was era appropriate. It was thematically appropriate. It shows kind of just the triumph of death over life in the painting. It's actually a cool painting. You ought to look it up and see it in its entirety. It's just kind of, we've cut sections out of it for the album, but the painting itself is really cool. It shows kind of this scourge of death, basically eating away the life of this like otherwise happy, colorful Renaissance scene, and it just was
blowing my mind.
It was just exactly what As Beauty Fades Away needed, and what A Flourishing Scourge kind of represents from a deeper perspective, and so it was just the perfect piece of art.
Is that the band's logo? Is that it?
The font on the album there,
Right. Yeah, the font on the album.
It currently is. It's never been officially drawn by an artist. We're actually still considering like getting a nice drawn version of it. It was always the idea to have a font that was kind of elegant, like as if somebody had just scribbled it with a fucking quill pen and dropped the ink blot type of thing. I wanted it to have some hint of metal, but not be this drippy blood type of thing,
Or look like a bunch of sticks that you just threw on the ground.
Yeah. I mean, I love all of that, but I don't know. Our music to me is slightly different. It's
A
not
little more elegant.
It's just not this brutal death metal. I mean, there's just there's enough of that we just don't do that. So we're trying to, I guess, represent the elegance that metal can be.
I should have asked this earlier, but what exactly does the band's name mean?
Well, I mean, I guess that depends on who you ask. I have my thoughts on what it means. To me, A Flourishing Scourge is us. We, to get deeper and philosophical, mankind is kind of a virus on this planet in its current form. I can see it. I can see the destruction that we inflict on the earth, and I feel like we all should be able to, but don't, because it's inconvenient. So to me, A Flourishing Scourge is us.
This has been Cattle Decapitation. I want to thank you guys for joining.
You asked.
No, I'm just messing with you. Speaking about them, have you guys had a chance to listen to their new album?
Oh, fuck yeah.
George and I mentioned this. I saw you on your Facebook, Ty, wearing their shirt.
Yeah. Oh, God.
George and I just talked about them. How has a band that was a grindcore band been able to put out this fucking album that they have now? It's amazing.
They've really evolved.
Yeah. It's not grindcore in my mind anymore. It's more sophisticated than that. It's really, it's thoughtful music presented in just the most in your face, brutal fucking mirror on society way you could imagine, and I just love it. I like it's they're one of my favorite bands at the moment. I really love what they've been able to do with the new direction. Really, the last few albums have been evolving into some really awesome stuff. No, we that was one of our other recent band trips. We all went and saw them recently when they came through, and it was pretty epic. I smashed my head into the stage. I was headbanging so hard.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Not to put either of you, any three of you guys on the spot, but it is November 1st right now. We're getting to the end of the year. Do you guys have an album of the year that's jumping out at you guys?
Let me think of anything.
And also,
the
there
Cattle
are
album would be my pick. And I know we just talked about it, so that's an easy pick, but I have probably listened to that more than any other new album this year.
George and I have gone round and round on this. Can an EP be considered for an album of the year?
If it's REP, yeah.
Good answer.
Has an EP ever been?
I don't think so. I mean, somebody may have.
If it holds its merit, I don't see a reason, I guess, why not.
Before we get into the last song, do you guys want to let people know how they can get a hold of you, where they can get your music, anything like that? Any shows coming up?
Yeah, we have Facebook. We have Reverb Nation, which has the EP on it. Bandcamp is the best place. It's free to download the whole digital album. You can also buy a physical CD copy. We even have a couple of shirts for sale on there. So Bandcamp is probably the best place to go to get what you're looking for. But we have a Facebook with a bunch of photos and a couple of videos. So yeah, we have a bit of an online presence. It's a unique name. If you type it in, you'll find basically just us. So,
comes right up.
Yeah. We have the album in iTunes and various other formats. Also, it's on Amazon, I think. It's on the internet.
Excellent. Well, get out there and check these guys out.
Hey guys, I'm just curious. This, as George and I mentioned earlier, we do a lot of Bandcamp stuff. Was the name your own price on Bandcamp where people can download it for free? Was that something you guys were going to do all along?
Yeah, for us, it's not really like we understand that we're not going to be flying a private jet anytime soon, and that this is more of an investment than it is a revenue of income. So yeah, we don't really we would rather have people hear our music.
Okay.
We were pretty stoked when we saw that somebody had ripped it and put the songs on YouTube and so that's all we really want is if people hear it and tell somebody about it. That's it.
Yeah. Well, last thing for me, I'm going to say thanks for joining us again. George, you ended. But the picture on your Facebook page using the Imperial TIE Fighter pilot, double thumbs up for me, gentlemen.
That was Kevin's idea, and
Kevin, I love you. Can you do it for everything you guys do going forward?
Absolutely.
Disney won't mind.
Yeah, Disney won't mind at all. I heard they're very nice with their stuff.
Yeah, they're great people.
All right, well, we'll finish out the episode now with one more song. The song we're going to play is called Of the Tormented and Sick. You guys tell us anything about this one?
Yeah, this was actually the first song we ever finished. It was the first song I ever sang to in this project, and it actually started off with a different name, and we finally picked a better name for it. So yeah, this one is one that's kind of evolved over time from just a cheesy little kind of groovy song into something that we all really like. It's one of my favorites off this album. Yeah, it's one of our favorites. Excellent. I want to thank you guys again for coming on today. So this is the song Of the Tormented and Sick by A Flourishing Scourge from their EP As Beauty Fades Away. Make sure you go out on Bandcamp or anywhere else and pick it up. These guys are good. Until next time, we're out of here.